Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is the second half of our double ring event, and it is a 30-man Iron Man match. 30-minute Iron Man match. Ladies and gentlemen, the scoreboard will count down from 30 minutes. The rules are simple. When one person scores a pinfall or a submission, that will count. Those who have the most at the end of 30 minutes will be the victor.
Fine job. Announcer, you're up best.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the participants. First, headed from Chicago, Illinois, weighing at 205 pounds, here is CM Colt. And his opponent, weighs in at 210 pounds, from Sin City, here is the fallen angel, Christopher Daniels.
We are about ready to go. This is one of the most grueling, most challenging matches in wrestling. 30-minute Iron Man match. So much endurance and so much strategy that is involved in a match like this. CM Punk and Christopher Daniels, two of the most popular wrestlers in the IWC as well, so it'll be interesting to see who the fans favor. 30 minutes are on the clock, and we are just about ready to go. And here we go. Daniels offering a handshake early on, and there we go. So it looks like this should be a pretty sportsmanlike match throughout, unless tempers start to flare later on. We've seen that happen a few times. And here we go. Punk and Daniels tie up.
1, 2,
back to the corner.
3, 4.
And we're going to clean break. Yes, we do. Referee in there is Paul Turner. These two match up so well from a size standpoint. it's really going to come right down to technical ability. Neither man should be able to out-muscle or out-brawl each other. Very evenly matched. Back in the corner, and another clean break. So far, everything's been pretty much on the up and up. Both guys very cautious. You really need to pace yourself in a match like this. Punk with the arm drag takedown, and Daniels comes back with one of his own. And you see the fans very appreciative of the skills of both these guys. CM Punk winning the IWC title from Jimmy Vegas back in the spring, but unfortunately messing up his head in New Jersey in a match against Reckless Youth. He was on the shelf for a few months, and this is his first match back here in the IWC. And now Punk working on this hammerlock. Daniels trying to get out of it. Into a nice drop toe hold, floats over into a headlock of his own. Daniels taking control now. Both these guys keeping things very basic. You don't want to make a mistake in the early going for something too fancy, because you could be down one fall very quickly. Now, Punk maneuvers his way back into a headlock of his own and takes Daniels over. Counter into a head scissors.
Ask him, come on. No. Come on, Punk. No.
Daniels now grabs the arm, add a little more pressure. CM Punk looking for a way out. And now he rolls backwards and comes up and gets a headlock of his own. So some good mat wrestling here by both men. A quick 2 count by Daniels. But Punk right back on top. Again, Daniels takes him over for 2. And now, Daniels trying to get himself up off the mat. And he's got a chancery now. Getting a bit of a mat wrestling clinic here from these two guys. I'm sure they'll be hitting the heavy artillery later on. Now, both men back to their feet. Punk with the armbar. Grabbing a full Nelson now. And takes him over the snapmare. And Punk trying to wear down Daniels with a rear chin lock.
No.
These wear down holds very good in a match like this. You want to just keep your opponent on the defensive. Even if you're not doing a ton of damage, you just want to keep him down, ground him, and wear him down, because both these guys' energy is going to be so important in the final 5 minutes of this match. No score early on. About 4 minutes have elapsed. Daniels with the headlock now, really trying to grind it in there. And Punk trying to break with these shots to the gut. And Daniels puts on the brakes and grinds the headlock.
What do you say now? No. Shit. Give up. Come on.
Daniels trying to get Punk to give up. Of course, he's not going to do it this early. But now Daniels doing the wearing down. And Punk again tries to brawl his way out. Sends him across, and Daniels putting on the brakes again.
What do you say now?
Christopher Daniels doing a very good job here of keeping Punk on the defensive. Finally, Punk sends him across in a shoulder block. Daniels going for a quick pin and gets a 1 count. And Daniels right back to the headlock. Daniels in control right now. It's been pretty much a stalemate all the way through. And now Punk with the head scissors. Kicking out, and a headlock takeover by Punk. So you see neither guy doing anything crazy, as Chuck Roberts, our ring announcer, giving us a 5-minute call. No score in this 30-minute Iron Man match. And CM Punk trying to keep Daniels down, but now Daniels making his way back. And now we see Daniels laying in those shots to the rib cage. Shoulder block by Punk. Daniels is down. Leapfrog. And a handstand by Punk. And we're back to a stalemate. That's where it's been for the first 6 minutes. Neither man getting a clear-cut advantage. It's great to see these two putting on this great wrestling exhibition, of course. We had the injuries earlier this week to Dick Togo and Loki, so neither of them able to compete here tonight. But Punk and Daniels getting together saying, let's put on a great match for the people. Just see who's the best in the 30-minute format. And Daniels hits a back suplex, the first big move of the match. And now we'll see if he can capitalize.
Daniels off his hair. Let's go.
Snapmare takes Punk over and drives the knee right to the chest. Daniels now with a flying there, and he's starting to rev up the offense. Daniels gets 2.
Come on, Daniels, off the hair.
Both guys battling, trying to get that important first fall. Really put your opponent on the defensive. You can take that early 1-0 lead. Neck vice applied now by Daniels. And Punk, again, battling for air, just trying to battle to get back on offense. Thank you for joining us. This is Jeff Gorman coming away from the Isoplex here in Canonsburg, Pennsylvania. Daniels missing the elbow. And CM Punk counters with a snap mare and a chin lock. And now, Punk trying to get his offense going. And he's softening up the back. Good series of moves there. Lands the knee and then controls his man. And he's got Daniels down again. So far, CM Punk does not seem to be showing any ring rust at all. After that layoff, he was out for about 3 months. And it's really a credit to his toughness that he's even back now. I mean, he suffered a fractured skull. That would put many people out for about 6 months. And you got to wonder if maybe he came back too soon. I guess we'll find out. Shoulder block, Daniels goes down. Punk over, and a big jumping sidekick right to the mouth. And the fans really applauding the moves of both men here. Daniels lands the headbutt. And CM Punk is down. Going for about 7 minutes right now. Still no score in this 30-minute Iron Man match. And a clothesline takes down CM Punk. Daniels goes for cover and gets 2. So you see the pace starting to quicken a little bit after that early feeling out process. And Daniels, again, nails him with a chop. Oh, he was looking for a move, maybe running up the ropes. But Punk put a stop to that with a clothesline. And now CM Punk with the armbar. Daniels struggling to get back to his feet here. And CM Punk now in control. He's going to run up the ropes. Caught him into a Hurricane Rana. Nicely done. And drills him with the elbow to the mouth. Punk for the pin. Gets a 2 count. CM Punk wants to get that first fall. Unable to do so yet. And he's going to try to follow up. Scoop and a body slam. And now CM Punk heading up the ropes. It's maybe a little too early. Twisting senton. Nobody home. Daniels was not quite worn down yet. And we'll see if Daniels can capitalize. Daniels scoops him up. Takes him down with the choke slam. And now, went for a double jump moonsault. There it is. Boom, he nailed it. 1, 2. No. Oh, that was close. Daniels so close to getting that first pinfall. We are getting close to the 10-minute mark. No one scored a pin yet. Knee to the gut. Hooks him up. There's the angel wings. He nailed it. And Daniels is going to get 2 and... No, CM Punk kicked out of the angel wings. Look out. There's the last rites. That's going to do it. 1, 2, 3. Daniels gets the first fall.
Ladies and gentlemen, fall number 1 to Christopher Daniels.
11 minutes in, and Christopher Daniels, and you can see shaking his head, he's pretty upset that he had to hit both of his finishers just to get one fall on CM Punk. He had to use the angel wings and the last rites. And now he's like, okay, you know, realizing there's no bell, the match is going to keep going. And he goes for another quick pin, and CM Punk kicks out. So now Daniels has to realize, geez, what do I have to do to get another fall? Using up both my finishers. Suplex by Daniels, and a 2 count. So now CM Punk in big trouble. He's got to score a pin just to tie this match. Daniels really with the advantage, and he can really wrestle a little more aggressively now. Cranking in this neck bite. And Punk is not about to submit. So Daniels can take a few more risks if he wants to. Even if something goes wrong and he loses a fall, he's still tied up. And CM Punk with very little margin for error. Again, back to this really nice looking neck vice. He's got both forearms in there, cranking on the neck. Punk's not going to submit though. Trying to battle his way out. And again, Daniels with the knee drop. Everything's really going the Fallen Angel's way right now. But what's he going to do? Choking him. Up and over and snapping his neck off the top rope. Christopher Daniels with that 1-0 lead. He's got all sorts of confidence right now. Shoots the half Nelson, goes for the pin and gets 2. But he's a little bit frustrated. He'd love to go up 2-0, but he can't do it. CM Punk fighting very tough. Sends him in. Swing and a miss. Oh, and Punk caught him with a Manhattan drop. And a swinging neck breaker. That bought Punk a little bit of time, but he can't go for a pin. He's taking too much punishment. Let's see if Punk can follow up. There's a chop. This may be a good strategy. Punk to try to just soften him up with some blows. Whips him in and nails him in the knee to the gut. And Punk taking over on offense. Look at this. Holding him up there for an eternity. Vertical suplex by Punk. CM Punk starting to do some damage. Still favoring that neck. Get 2? No, only 2.
Come on. 2 Punk.
CM Punk trailing 1 fall to nothing in this 30-minute Iron Man match. We are just about 15 minutes in, just about halfway there. Punk with the chops. Now an Irish whip. Here he comes. And he gets elevated to the apron by Daniels. Punk nailed him with a forearm. Heading up. Oh, he's setting him up. Look at this. Trying to position Daniels for his finisher if he can hit it. Here we go. There's the Pepsi plunge. That's going to be 1, 2, and 3. Punk has tied it up.
The winner of the second fall, CM Punk. The falls are now tied at 1 apiece.
We are actually about 15 and a half minutes in, and CM Punk ties the match up with the Pepsi plunge. And it is 1-1. We're at even Steven. And the fans cheering. They're really getting behind both guys. These are 2 of the biggest crowd favorites here in the IWC. Both these men are so spent.
15 minutes has elapsed in this contest. 15 minutes. 15 minutes remain.
There we go. Now we're at the halfway mark. And now, setting him up for a double underhook backbreaker. Punk going for another quick pin. And 2.
Come on.
Smart strategy here. If you can get a pin, try to hit another quick move, get another quick pin. It's a good way to roll up the score. That's what Punk was trying to do, but he was unable to get the 1, 2, 3. And now, throttling Daniels. Setting this up by grapebining the legs and using Daniels' arm to choke him out. But Daniels He is not submitting yet. He's in agony, though, doing so much damage to the neck and the back. And now rolls him over into a submission move. It's the 138 special. Daniels refuses to quit. Reaching for the ropes. Punk has this hooked. And he able to break it and get a 2 count. That was a nice looking submission move. Countering in midair, Daniels gets only 2. That was nice. And Punk with a big clothesline. 1 fall apiece. We are about 17 minutes in. And again, the fans cheering for both men when they're down. I thought the fans might side with Daniels or Punk, but it's been pretty much right down the middle. CM Punk getting up first. What's he got in mind? Sends Daniels in. Daniels ducks under it, just nails him with an uppercut. That was the palm strike. Shades of Jushin Liger. Wow. Hangman's neckbreaker by Daniels, and he nails him with the Shining Wizard. 1, 2, 3. Punk takes the lead.
The third fall goes to CM Punk, who now leads 2-1.
Punk nailing the Shining Wizard, and he now has a 2-1 advantage. And Daniels is behind. We are 18 and a half minutes in. Punk's going to go for another quick pin, and he gets 2. So now the complexion of this match has changed, and it's all in favor of CM Punk. Another chop, and this is really going to wear Daniels down. These guys have already laid out so much stuff and so much energy, and they still got about 12 more minutes to go. But Daniels is getting hyped up. He's firing back. Daniels with some great looking shots and great sounding shots. Irish whip is reversed by Punk, and Daniels sends him right in, hooks him over 2, and only 2. Great looking drop kick by Punk. Even about 19 minutes in, Punk still able to land a very good looking drop kick. Daniels is out on the floor. This is not where he wants to be. He's got some ground to make up here. Trailing 2-1. And Punk trying to get the fans going, rallying behind him. Of course, both these guys wrestling at such a high level. Whoever wins would definitely be a candidate for a title shot at Classic Colt Cabana. Sunset Flip gets 2, Punk gets 2, and Daniels kicks out. We're nearing the 20-minute mark, and both these guys have really taken a pounding. Who's going to be able to dig down and hit the big moves that they need down the stretch? We'll see who can do it. Daniels gets back up, lands a big right hand. Sends him in. And a back body drop. Whoa! Enziguri by Daniels. He just clobbered CM Punk with that one. Both men are down again. And CM Punk rolls out to the floor. You got to give CM Punk a lot of credit for signing on for a 30-minute Iron Man match in his first match back. He didn't just take like a regular match against maybe a young upcoming opponent. Punk really put himself right back in the fire. I think he really wants to get back into the main event IWC Championship scene. And now they're battling on the floor. We are in the final 10 minutes. Look out! Daniels just got thrown shoulder first into the post. And CM Punk rolls him back in. He's got to like this little turn of events. Coming in with a senton is CM Punk. And remember, he's already up 2-1. tries to make it 3-1, but Daniels kicks out. Now, the clock is starting to become the foe of Christopher Daniels. He's fighting Punk and the clock right now. And CM Punk gets him up. Trying to hook him in a gory special, but unable to do so. The previous damage to Punk's back, he could not hang on to that hold. So Daniels doing a good job of wearing CM Punk down earlier in the match, and it pays dividends later in the match. And Punk's going to have to try something else. Again, can't get him up for that suplex because of all the damage done to the back. And now Christopher Daniels takes the advantage. Tilt-a-whirl slam. Can he get 3? No. Daniels getting a little bit desperate now. He takes Punk, sends him in, misses again, flying body press. Punk gets only 2. Time running out for Daniels. Small package, CM Punk gets 2. Countered by Daniels and 2. And Punk with the clothesline. We are 22 minutes in. CM Punk still with a 2-1 lead. And Daniels is going to have to do something big in order to win this thing.
It's over!
CM Punk says it's over. He's got something in mind. If he can score another fall, go up 3-1, it may well be over for all intents and purposes. Swing and a miss. Daniels misses. Caught him. Hooks him over to submission, and Punk is tapping out. That is it. We are all tied up.
The next fall by submission goes to Christopher Daniels, now tied at 2 apiece.
Christopher Daniels hit the flatliner and then hooked the submission hold. It was a really good one, and Punk had to tap out. And Daniels, just like that, has tied this match up. And we are coming down the home stretch. 6 minutes to go, and we're tied at 2 falls apiece. Both men back to their feet as we start the 5th fall of this match. Nailing each other with forearms. Neither man giving an inch. And Daniels lands a few in a row. Here comes Daniels and gets met with a big drop kick. Punk gets a 2 count. Can't believe that CM Punk can get that kind of hang time on these drop kicks even 25 minutes into the match. Great conditioning and great vertical leap by CM Punk. Winds up the fallen angel. Hooks him up and just dumps him out of a fireman's carry. Second turnbuckle. Goes for the split-legged moonsault. But no, Chris Daniels got the knees up. All tied at 2 as we head down the home stretch of this 30-minute Iron Man match. 2 of the best you're going to see, CM Punk and Christopher Daniels. And they have proven to be very evenly matched. STO! We see that Japanese experience of Christopher Daniels coming to play. Rolling moonsault gets 2. And now Daniels, again, frustrated at his inability to get the pinfall. Lands a headbutt, but that sort of shook up Daniels as well. Daniels getting in some nice shots. Irish whip. Punk caught him. Power slam. 1, 2. No, only 2. We are inside 5 minutes now. Who is going to score that final pinfall? If it is, in fact, one more pinfall left in this match. Both guys are running out of time right now. Into the top turnbuckle. Daniels looks to be in control. Punk floats over and got nailed near the throat with that elbow. Daniels off the top. Oh, and he is now on the top in a very precarious way. Uh-oh. Daniels is hung up. His knee is caught on the top turnbuckle. Referee's got to get him out of there. Look out. Oh, Punk with a running start, drop kicks him right in that exposed knee. And Daniels is in agony. And he's just attacking that knee right now. CM Punk, seeing the opening that he needs, he's going after that knee like a shark, and Daniels is in intense pain. And now Punk, he knows he only has about 4 minutes left, but he's very confident in his ability to get a victory in these final 4 minutes because Daniels seems to be really hurt right now. And now, look, he's just trying to hyperextend that left knee. And again, just wrenching the left knee. He could be setting up for a submission. I know he likes to use the Texas Cloverleaf. That could be his method of winning this match. And now, tying up that knee with the electrical tape and turning it into a half Boston Crab. Is Daniels going to give up? He may have very little choice. He really wrenched that knee on the top turnbuckle. And Daniels in big trouble right now.
3 minutes remaining.
Time running out, but right now it's all CM Punk. He's taking his time. See, Daniels right now, he's in no position to do anything offensive right now.
Get up, Daniels.
Punk grapevine that knee, and now yanking back, almost like a figure four. But Daniels firing back with some shots. And Punk trying to get the submission to win this thing.
Shoulders are down, Ref.
Yanking back. And a 2 count. This works as a submission and a pinfall. And Daniels, with these chops, he's got to get out of this hold somehow, or there's no way he's going to win this thing. And now chopping him in the back. Down to 2 minutes. Punk trying to get a submission, but Daniels keeps fighting back. He may have to break this hold. But Daniels broke it for him. Look at Daniels go, continuing to lay in those shots. He can barely put any weight on that knee. Oh, and Punk right back on top. He's going to go right back to that hold. Small package. Daniels gets 3. He got the 1, 2, 3.
The fifth ball is scored by Christopher Daniels.
Wow. Daniels using that move against Punk, had everything all tied up. Daniels rolled over, got the pin, and now Punk is losing 3-2. Fisherman suplex in 2. Daniels still favoring that knee, and Punk is getting desperate now because he's trailing. He's got to get a pinfall, and he's like down to something like 2 minutes.
1 minute remaining.
Okay, make that 1 minute. Takes him down, hooks him over. This could be it. Texas Cloverleaf. Daniels is going to have to give it up. Time running out.
45 seconds.
45 seconds to go. Punk trying to get the submission to tie it up. And Daniels desperately trying to reach the ropes. Oh, he dragged him back to the middle of the ring. Daniels may have to tap out here. He is in incredible pain. Look at that. Punk trying to get the submission. Can Daniels reach the ropes? 15 seconds. In the middle of the ring. Is Daniels going to tap? 1, 2. No, he's still in it. And that's it. Daniels wins. Daniels is 1 at 3, falls to 2. Oh my gosh, how did he hang in there?
The winner of this contest, scoring 3 falls to 2.
Daniels wins it. What a gutsy performance. He was caught in the Texas Cloverleaf for almost a full minute. He did not tap out. He kept hanging in there, and he hung on to a 3-2 lead, and Christopher Daniels is your winner. What a victory. And Punk asking the referee, Paul Turner, didn't he tap out? Didn't he give up? But no. Oh, CM Punk He wrestled such a smart match, especially down the last 5 minutes. But it was that quick pinfall by Daniels, taking the 3-2 lead, and he hung on for the victory. What an outstanding match this was. Both these guys should be very proud. Unfortunately, Daniels is too injured to feel any pride right now. His knee really took a beating in the final 5 minutes of that match. These fans giving both men a standing ovation. CM Punk got to be frustrated. His first match back, he wrestled an outstanding match. I'm just impressed that he's even here, to tell you the truth. But he just wrestled a classic. So CM Punk really has to know the good things are coming down the line. And now picking up Christopher Daniels. Very nice. Both these guys congratulating each other on a great match. And both men, even though it was so close, even though Daniels wins, very good match by both men. They should both be very proud. Wait a minute! No! Punk! What is he doing? He's going after that knee. CM Punk, I can't believe this. Oh, come on. Daniels won the match fair and square, and now he's got a chair. Oh, come on. This knee has suffered so much damage. How can CM Punk do this? I thought they were giving each other respect, and they were for a second. Come on. CM Punk on top, and now classic Colt Cabana is in there. Good thing the champion, Colt Cabana, is in there to stop CM Punk from doing any more damage. What an incredible display of poor sportsmanship by CM Punk. How disappointing. You know, it didn't have to go down that way. Oh, come on. CM Punk just showing so much bitterness here. Hey, Daniels won. It was a close match, but Daniels won. And now this kind of unsportsmanlike display by CM Punk. That's really disappointing.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the second half of our double main event. It is scheduled for one fall, and it is a triple threat match to determine the #1 contender for the IWC Championship. And now introducing the participants. First, hailing from Canonsburg, Georgia, weighing 202 pounds, here is Phenomenal AJ Styles.
This is it, our big main event, IWC Wrestling, on December 27th, 2002. We're in West Mifflin, an incredible three-way dance with three of the top stars on the independent scene, and we start with AJ Styles.
And his opponent, weighs in 205 pounds, from Chicago, Illinois, here is CM Punk.
And CM Punk making his way out here. Former IWC champion. This is for a shot at the IWC title.
Weighs in at 210 pounds, hails from Sin City. Ladies and gentlemen, the fallen angel, Christopher Daniels.
the fallen angel, Christopher Daniels, completes this trio. 3 of the very best. One man will emerge as the winner and will get a shot at the IWC champion, Jimmy Vegas. Daniels coming out to Disposable Teams by Marilyn Manson.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, one fall with a 30-minute time limit for the #1 contender, the IWC champion.
We are just about ready to go. This should really be an outstanding match. It's a pleasure to be calling it. My name is Jeff Gorman, and this is the IWC. And here we are in our main event. Christopher Daniels, AJ Styles, CM Punk. And CM Punk is going to sit out at first, and AJ Styles says, you know, I think I will too. Daniels is like, I'm not going to wrestle myself. And it's very appropriate to have these 3 guys in there because these are 3 of the best wrestlers of 2002. I mean, they all have really taken it to a higher level this year. And, you know, we're getting close to the end of the year. We do have another show tomorrow night in Butler. So it's not our final match of the year, but it's getting close. But these 3... it's just great to have all these 3 guys, and it's very appropriate to see who can come out on top between these 3 with a final victory. Styles with a back body drop on Daniels. Punk sneaks in from behind and hits a back suplex. Daniels with a drop kick and an arm drag. You see what we're dealing with here. 3 of the best, so evenly matched. How can you pick a winner? These guys have earned so much respect. Boy, it's a tough life. You got people pulling your hair, your tights all at the same time. And we have a possible 3-way lockout. Fans calling out their opinions. These Punk and Daniels had a great 30-minute Iron Man match back in September. It came down to the last moment. Daniels won that match 3 falls to 2. It was a real classic. And now we see these 2 and AJ Styles in there. Punk and Styles working together, at least for now. And they tie him. No! Styles double-crossed CM Punk and pulled him down by the hair. And Daniels says, great. That's the opening I was looking for. Nice jumping sidekick by the Fallen Angel. Big suplex. Daniels gets a 1 count and Punk pulls him off. Putting the boost to Daniels. Hooks him up for a released fisherman suplex. And now Punk goes for the pin. Styles pulls him off. And AJ puts the boost to CM Punk. Body slam by AJ. Nice looking senton. Daniels makes the save. Chris Daniels really getting a lot of acclaim all over the US and in Japan. Big clothesline takes down Styles. CM Punk had a great run as IWC champion and was awesome all over the Midwest. Rakes Daniels across the top and nails AJ Styles, who became a really big name in the NWA. And of course, all 3 guys wrestling for Ring of Honor as well. Ring of Honor will debut in Pittsburgh 2 weeks from tonight, right in this building. We're all looking forward to that. Punk's got them both and takes them both down. Styles goes out. The Fallen Angel puts on the brakes. And Punk able to counter into Hurricane Rana. Styles. Oh, he saw Punk was going for that same move. Spins him around, and Daniels with a... Great enziguri by Styles there. Swing and a miss. Flying body press, and both men are down. These three wrestling at such a high level. Good spinning heel kick by Styles. And they're really bringing the best out of each other. And a 2 count. Punk now working on AJ Styles. Vertical suplex, and you see the damage it did to AJ. 2 count, Daniels with the save. Shoves him off. And now they're both fighting over who can pin Styles. At this rate, no one will pin Styles. Headbutt. Daniels and Punk were both part of that Super Indy tournament back in March, which was really a phenomenal collection of talent. Super Hentai winning that tournament. And now we see them here in the ring at the end of the year with AJ Styles. Styles now working on the Fallen Angel. Drop kick. Lands right in a position to pop to his feet. Styles just a great athlete. Now with CM Punk. Slams him in the ring. And he's going to tie him up. Bridges back into the Muda lock. And flips it over. Really stretching out CM Punk right now. And Daniels.
5 minutes has elapsed, 25 minutes remaining.
Great move by Daniels. Hit that drop kick on Styles. Of course, Punk was already being punished as he drop kicked the other guy. Chris Daniels is one of the smartest wrestlers you will ever see. And a back suplex. 2 count, and it's like this. You gotta really kind of mobilize both guys in order to bad blood between these two. And this is anyway. CM Punk, as he tries to advance for over 4 minutes right now, and been pretty evenly. This has been really going full tilt. All one shot at the title. Neither by CM Punk. Of the 3 guys in the ring, is the only man to hold the IWC champion. Daniels never got a title shot. Styles got a shot in his IWC debut with the match classic Colt Cabana. And was in Sport High School. And came out on top of that. Damn, Punk and shot right out the ring. Like Daniels picked the spot, waited for count. There's so much good talent over the country. We're really proud of people mostly over here. Like, those who were two count. This is Norm Barr running the bar. Barr is being rated now in the IWC. And that's all up and down the bar. Dan's looking to have some kind of advantage here. He slams Styles and then goes after slams a bunch of Styles. There's an interesting idea. And what Daniel's going to do, he's got both of them. Hooking the Boston quick at the same time. Anybody can attack. Are they both going to attack? I don't think I've ever seen one person, two other guys in submission at the same time. But Daniel did it. Working on eight. Four. Into the boot. And the fans with so much respect. He started here, but he won the fans over. A nice that else gets to. This match is not going on a really long time. But all three of them are loud jump. Beautiful looking vertical suplex. And now just like Pump is going to Alliance, but Dan getting out of Angus. No, he doesn't get out. Here we go. Oh. Daniel trying to move on both. Punk was so fast. And now all three guys trying to make it up again. Styles delivers the hard kick. That was right. Styles known for a lot of things. He's a higher, has a lot of good stuff in his arsenal, but he is also a very hard hitter. Now to Daniel's side. Styles out. Daniel's out. We work on something else. Not. Try to again. Oh, another chop. Floor. Daniel sneaks through a roll up. Two. Pin. Two pump bridges. Two. Styles tried to make the same. Daniels barely kicked out. Referee Chris Cabana punched in the face. We'll see if he can takes more to now. Daniel tries for a super. Styles blocks it. Both guys moves. Hangman's neck. Time getting now Styles gets his shoulder up. Guys getting everything they have. says a lot when you got strong Jimmy Vegas is fighting for the belt. Just the more prestige. Just really staying alive out there. Even though it's not a title match. A boot. Styles hits Punk. Uses both against each other. And takes both. Should have one, should have pinned both. Both. Kick out. Pinning just Styles. Kicks out. Pinning kicks out. Try all the different yeah. Daniel's on. What's Styles on? Back it out.
all been waiting for. AJ Styles final Super 8 Championship of this reign as he takes on the world down. Colt AJ and Daniel. AJ Styles was supposed to be in the Super to begin with, but he called the IWC offices and said he refused to compete in this tournament. He refused to enter the tournament on the IWC title. That championship one last time. Tie-up, Christopher Daniels and AJ Styles working the upset ring.
Now, I want Daniels to beat him up.
Joe Dombrowski here at ringside. Balls play the special
another Please talk.
I'm kidding. Actually, it's great to actually have Balls Mahoney here. Balls, please, you give great analysis. I love to hear it. Go with it.
I think Chris Daniels has the edge on AJ Styles. AJ Styles. Oh, look at the takedown. Look at the front chancery, and they're reversing the other front chancery. Another reverse into a front chancery. Another reverse into a front chancery. And slipped out by Chris Daniels. This is great chain wrestling. One after the other.
That was the longest sentence I've ever heard. But it's well deserving. AJ Styles and the Fallen Angel. Christopher Daniels largely considered to be the best independent professional wrestler of the 1990s. Styles considered the best
90s,
wrestler.
I consider Chris Daniels to be the best independent wrestler of the last 10, 20 years.
Styles considered the best professional wrestler in this decade. Sort of a contest of Styles.
No, I don't consider AJ Styles the best wrestler in the last 10 years. I consider Chris Daniels the best wrestler in the last 15 years. You know why? Because I've been the most underrated wrestler for the last 30 years, and nobody recognized me. Wow, look at that. Into a tie-up, into a takedown, into a roll-up. And there's a pinfall, and the ref would not count it because it's just nothing but a collar and elbow tie-up, and they're working this. Has to be a clean break here.
Competitive spirit of these men
This is
showing
wrestling.
Through. Neither man relinquishing the tie-up.
This is wrestling.
That is right, sir. Daniels,
I have to clap there.
Daniels really wanted a shot at AJ Styles no matter what, and that's why this match was signed.
Oh, don't worry, Chris Daniels will take a shot when the time is right.
This is going to be a classic. This has match of the year written all over.
Single leg. That was a high crotch into an outside single leg, and he's got the takedown now.
And notice Daniels covering up.
Oh, that's a dangerous spot to be on your stomach right there, but on your back you can get pinned, so it's kind of catch-22. Reverse into an arm lock. He's got that cross collar and elbow right there. You can see that there. He's got the arm lock, and he's got the wrist into a wrist lock.
You know, Balls, both these men know they won't walk out of this match with the Super Indy Championship.
Nobody's walking out of this match safe. Whoever walks out of this match as the winner is going to feel this for the next 2 weeks. I promise you.
The Super Indy Championship goes to Chris Sabin.
Chris Sabin's going for the test of strength.
Will capture the championship, but it's about more than that. It's about pride.
Test of strength right here.
I see this.
Will it happen?
It's about pride. It's about seeing which of these men is the better athlete.
Beautiful wrestling hold into a top wrist lock. That was beautiful. Chris Daniels just sucked him into a top wrist lock. That was an absolute beautiful psychological move.
Not surprising to see both men start out very slow, sort of a feeling out process. They don't want to make any mistakes, especially this early in the match.
Well, why would you want to make a mistake? This is for the championship right here.
Exactly.
And if you're going to try to go really hard, you can get caught early, and there's no reason for that.
And it should be noted that even though Chris Sabin is our next Super Indy champion, Christopher Daniels can also add his name to that list if he beats Styles for the belt before it goes to Sabin.
You know what? I have to say this. Chris Sabin is one of the most excellent wrestlers I've seen. And I say this right now. Christopher Daniels, whether he wins or loses matches, will never, ever lose to Chris Sabin.
Very bold prediction, Mr. Mahoney, as Daniels sits in the side headlock on the phenomenal AJ Styles.
I will do a 4-way elimination match with Chris Sabin, with Chris Daniels, with AJ Styles, and I promise you, I may not win that match, but whoever has the displeasure to feel my stretches, to feel my wrestling ability, will never be the same.
Well, something to put in the IWC suggestion box. Balls Mahoney obviously technically sound as well as a rough, tough brawler.
Balls Mahoney is technically sound. Balls Mahoney prefers to be technically sound. Balls Mahoney prefers technical wrestling matches. He just never gets them because of his reputation. Wow. Wow.
Daniels counters into a go-behind. Sorry, Chuck. We're all talking over each other. I apologize.
I'm so sorry. I'm going to stop tooting Balls Mahoney's horn. Balls Mahoney's going to talk about these guys. I'm very sorry.
No. I just think, Joe, you brought up a very interesting point. If I can throw my 2 cents in, I think whomever wins this match, I think that person should wrestle Chris Sabin. Then we determine who the Super Indy champion is. That's what I think we should do.
If Chris Sabin does not get the next title match, then that whole tournament was a sham and a farce. The winner of the Super Indy should definitely get the next title shot at our world champion.
Well, Chris Sabin is the next Super Indy champion regardless. Whoever wins this championship, not going to exit with a belt as far as I understand. This is basically just a match for pride. Win, lose, or draw, Sabin is the next Super Indy champion. Look at AJ Styles backing off a little, uncharacteristic.
No, this is a smart move. AJ Styles is regrouping right now. He's taking a break. And you know what? Look at Chris Daniels. He did not advance. He did not try to stop the ref count. Chris Daniels knows he's taking a break, and he allowed him to get back in the ring, because otherwise, a 10 count, he looks like a whip, and that's it.
Ever since winning the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Styles has got a bit of an attitude change. He's still well respected and a very respectful young man.
The last person to hold the NWA World title was Ric Flair. That is not recognized by Balls Mahoney and never will be.
Okay, well, excuse me, the TNA Heavyweight Championship.
And that will never be recognized as a world title until it is defended in Japan and Mexico and Puerto Rico and England and Africa.
I believe it's been defended.
And that is my shoot opinion.
Most of those places but Africa. But regardless, Styles now working on the arm of Christopher Daniels.
Joe, if I were you, I wouldn't disagree with Paul.
No. We're here to do opinions, and we're here to do our knowledge of professional wrestling. And you can see the hammerlock he has is wrenching in right now.
Well, we got 2 very, very sound mat tacticians. We could be here a while with these men going tit for tat, back and forth.
It will be a pleasure to watch this.
I have to agree with that.
It will be a pleasure to comment on this.
This is poetry in
wow.
motion.
Look at that. Look at that hold he has on right now. He's trying to hyperextend that elbow of Christopher Daniels, and now he puts it back into the hammerlock, and he's trying to. Chris Daniels is fighting it. Now he goes to an armbar. Look at that. Look at this wrestling. This is something special right now.
This is art form at its finest. A tremendous matchup. Match of your caliber already, I can say, and we're not even halfway into this match, you can tell.
Halfway? We're 1/3 of this match. Whoa! Nice trip.
Pace quick, and Daniels kicks out of it. Daniels missing the elbow.
Miss.
Styles misses the knee, and both men back up to a vertical base.
This is what I'm talking about. This is some of the best technical wrestling you'll see. You ain't gonna see this on WWE television. You're not gonna see this on TNA television. You know why? Because they're afraid of this. This is professional wrestling at its best.
Balls, the respect you have for both of these men is very evident. Pick us a winner.
I won't pick a winner. You know why? Because whoever loses, I'm going to feel bad for, and whoever wins, I'm going to feel bad for, because I consider both of them. Even though I have a little bit of a jealous streak with AJ Styles, I consider both of these men a friend of mine, and I just wish them both the best of luck in this business. And I'm not an old man. I'm only 32 years old, and these guys can give me a run for my money.
Styles sitting in the side headlock now, but Daniels trying to get that right arm around the face of Styles, trying to pull his body away from Daniels' body.
Both guys are actually doing a very nice job, and the interesting thing about this too, and Balls, you can attest to this, that AJ Styles has been a pretty good fixture of IWC in recent months, and where Christopher Daniels comes in and out, so I would think that that would give a little bit of an upper hand. This is sort of a home field advantage for AJ Styles in that ring.
Well, in that case, then there would have been an upfield battle for anybody that I wrestled, because I'm in and out of IWC wrestling.
Oh, absolutely. There's no
The only
question.
reason I'm in and out of IWC wrestling is because of prior commands and prior bookings.
Sure.
I have 3 other promotions, and I'm not going to promote them here, because that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for IWC wrestling, because this is my home in Pittsburgh. But
Oh, absolutely.
I want you to watch this. Watch it. Look at that side headlock. Look at the side headlock that AJ Styles has on right there. He's digging that in. Now, see, if he had stepped over right there, he never would have got reversed into that. If he steps over right now, he can suffocate. He can actually suffocate. There it is. 1, 2, and he'll kick out of that.
Reversing the weight.
If he steps, oh, wow, look at the reversal.
Oh, nice reversal.
Into a Fujiwara armbar, a version of the Fujiwara armbar. That was something pretty.
Obviously, Daniels' experience in Japan, competing for New Japan Pro Wrestling, among other promotions, shining through as he tries to break out all stops to subdue AJ Styles.
AJ Styles, nothing given, nothing taken. AJ Styles is one of the best young talents I have ever seen in the last 10 years.
No doubt about it.
But Christopher Daniels has been around longer than that, and Christopher Daniels is a better talent, in my opinion, than AJ Styles. Christopher Daniels is one of the most recognized and then thought to be overrated workers. I think Chris Daniels is the top indie worker in the business right now. Look at that. Look at that. AJ Styles tried to be flashy to take a nip up to convert to these fans, and he gets sucked down with the side headlock again. And again, if Chris Daniels steps over onto that headlock, that match is over. AJ Styles will not be able to breathe, and a simple headlock can pin somebody. And I will prove it to every one of you. One day, I'm going to be the most boring match in the world. I'm going to pin somebody in 6 minutes with a side headlock.
Balls, let me ask you this. If you're in the finals of Super Indy 3, and you got the chance to pick,
I chair shot whoever it is.
Who would you?
If I'm in the finals, I'm going to be tired, I'm going to be bloody, and I'm going to be ready to go, and I'm going to chair shot whoever it is, or nutcracker them off the top
Off the ropes, leapfrog,
nice
Daniels, he center, hip toss, takes Styles down. An arm drag takeover.
Beautiful Ricky Steamboat style arms like that.
Beautiful, got way under AJ Styles.
And Balls, we certainly would never want you to change your style because you have a very unique style all in your own. But seriously, who would you prefer to take on if you could pick? Would you take on Christopher Daniels? Would you rather take on the phenomenal AJ Styles?
Do you want to know who I would love to take on?
Who?
Rob Van Dam. One last time. You don't understand, the last 2 years of ECW, every night I wrestled Rob Van Dam.
Every night? Well, that's...
Every night. I beat him 6 times. Nobody knows about that because it wasn't on TV.
Well, look at it.
Beautiful. Head scissor into the
Takes it down.
With the kip off.
Can't get the
into
cover.
A headlock takeover.
Side headlock takedown by AJ Styles. As Balls Mahoney goes psychotically excited.
Absolutely. The action back and forth. And I would suggest, Balls, many of those matches that weren't televised were probably some of your more classic matches with Rob Van Dam.
If they televised some of the ones that weren't televised, the televised matches would look like
I'm gonna believe him. I definitely think that's true, Joe. I definitely think so.
And speaking of classic matches, AJ
was 30 minutes, house shows were 55.
AJ still with the side headlock in on Christopher Daniels.
Here comes the elbow.
Daniels fighting out shots in the midsection. Shoulder block. Styles sends Daniels down to the canvas hard. And Daniels pops right back up. Styles charge again. Leapfrog. Styles returns the favor. Up and over. Drop kick. Daniels holds on. Superior intelligence by the Bone Angel. But Styles hits a picture-perfect drop kick of his own.
You know, these two guys have wrestled each other so many times, 2 count only. These guys have wrestled each other so many times, it's almost like a storybook in that ring. Each guy knows what they're going to do, and each guy knows how to counter each other's moves.
And the key to this match is varying your offense.
Suplex here.
Varying your offense. What you normally do, Styles hits the
AJ
suplex.
Styles. 2! Oh, I almost thought he might have had him there. That was a beautiful snap suplex there. Standing snap suplex. If that was standing who the hell in vertical, he brought them back real quick as soon as he thought that was up. That was a beautiful suplex.
Styles so graceful in the ring, so fluid, can transition from one move to another
shot. Now it's starting to get personal, guys. This is where it starts to get personal. When them chops start, there's nothing but enemies in there.
That's starting to open up a little. Styles scoops him up. Backbreaker to the small, the back of the fallen angel.
Christopher Daniels has got to be feeling that move in the kidney area. That knee did not land in the small of the back. That knee landed right in the kidney area.
Styles now with Daniels in control. Forearm shot, backs him into the turnbuckle.
He goes to whip him off right here. Hard turnbuckle shot, he charges it. Oh,
there it is.
Styles hesitated for a minute and he paid for the Daniels elbow. Up and over. Cross body counter, drove in the knee.
Breaker, that is a rib breaker. That is nothing but a rib breaker.
Drove the knee right into the rib cage.
Used his own momentum to pull him into his knee into the ribs.
Balls, that'll break your ribs and make you lose your lunch. Unbelievable momentum right
or your liquor, whatever you're doing before the match. That's coming out right there.
To each his own, absolutely.
This match going to the outside now. Christopher Daniels and AJ Styles brawling on the floor. Rams that rib cage right into the edge of the apron. Daniels has found a weakened body part, and now it's time to focus on it.
You know what? I often believe that there's a difference between putting on a great wrestling match and committing yourself to putting on a great
show. He just
show.
rammed the side of the rib into the corner post over there. I don't know if you caught that. He just picked him up by the side and the side slam in the front and rammed his rib right into the corner post. There is no forgiving there. That is solid steel. There is nothing giving. There is not a ring. There's not wood. There's not padding. That was steel. And he's continuing to work on the rib. Watch this. Shoulder into the rib cage.
Backs him into the corner. Nowhere for Styles to go. Focusing on the rib cage again. When your ribs are hurting, Balls, you're going to test this. It's so hard to breathe. So the longer this match goes, the more it favors Daniels.
Look, watch this. Watch this. Vertical suplex.
No.
Rib breaker.
Still focusing on that body part. Christopher Daniels is relentless.
If you can't breathe. 1, 2. Oh, I thought that was it.
But not a lot of energy in that kick out.
If you can't breathe, you can't fight. Rule 1.
Christopher Daniels has AJ Styles right where he wants him. AJ Styles hurting now.
Another rib buster. That is the old Sergeant Slaughter rib buster move. Oh, and then a kick to the ribs.
Oh, Daniels has a set game plan here. You know Daniels would love to be a Super Indy champion. Love to put his name along that list of Styles, Cabana, Head Tie, and Sabin.
Well, you know that Chris Daniels is the fallen angel. Chris Daniels does not care about the rules. Another backbreaker, which also takes the side of the ribs into effect there. Chris Daniels is the fallen angel. Chris Daniels does not care about the rules. He doesn't want to break them, but if he does, you know what? It's all about winning. Oh, another knee to the ribs. Knee to the ribs.
Since AJ Styles into the ring post, notice how Christopher Daniels has taken a more methodical approach to this match. He's much more strategic.
Daniels up and over. Styles, back body drop, takes the fallen angel down. Now AJ Styles might be able to battle back now. Might be able to get the focus off of AJ's ribs.
There could be a great momentum change needed for AJ Styles.
But look at AJ sucking wind. He's in so much pain. Tearing away at
more stress on the rib cage and the muscles surrounding the abdominal region and latissimus dorsi.
That intercostal cartilage being stretched by the fallen
Here
angel.
comes the deltoid region, the abdominal region, and the latissimus dorsi region. All muscles that he's been working on all night. He's putting the submission on him. I guarantee you, if this stays on in a tight way, this match is over.
Very astute analysis, Balls, and Daniels, little insult to injury with the right hands, continuing to punish AJ Styles. Look at the torque on AJ Styles' midsection.
And so easy.
Balls Mahoney has himself a good old time, like an old country square dance. Go ahead, Chuck.
I was just going to say, what was awesome was how Christopher Daniels turned that hip toss into an abdominal stretch with relative ease.
Styles battling back now. Somehow he's got enough left in his system to fight through the pain and take it to the fallen angel. Daniels puts on the brakes. Hot shot.
On the cable ropes. Those are not rope ropes. Those are cable ropes. Just like the old WCW NW rings, just like the ECW ring. Those aren't WWE ropes. Those are cable, steel cable.
Usually the hot shot affects the throat, but Daniels made a mid-air adjustment and dropped him down right in his ribs. Jumping in, Zaguri kick, sends Styles to the corner.
What is keeping AJ Styles on his feet?
Amazing. He's out on his feet right now, Balls. I can guarantee you he has no idea where he is.
He wants to win so bad. Look at, kick to the rib cage. He goes out.
Styles is such a fighting champion.
See, now you're in my area. Now you take the chair and you jam into the ribs and you hit him in the back.
Well, he doesn't want to get disqualified. He doesn't want to win this championship.
You're not going to disqualify it. If you got a 5 count, you're not going to. There it is.
Rams the ribs into the apron again. AJ Styles, such a strong
my
champion.
woman. Hi, woman.
You know, actually, Joe, Balls has a great point. A wrist lock never beat
Arabian moonsault! The Arabian moonsault!
Arabian moonsault.
Daniels takes down Styles, and look at him bump for the crowd.
Unbelievable.
And look at him bump for Balls Mahoney. Even Balls gave that a standing ovation.
And you know what? Balls is right. His analysis, a wrist lock never beat anybody, Joe, but a tire iron sure will.
The first high-impact maneuver in this match executed perfectly as Christopher Daniels has AJ Styles sucking wind on the outside and a lot of pain. And AJ Styles is such a great champion. He doesn't want to go down without fighting. He doesn't want to go down without putting forth his full effort. That's the only thing keeping AJ Styles in this match at this point, in my humble opinion.
To hit.
Breaks in with the elbow drop. As the cover and AJ Styles kicks out.
And to hit a move like that this late in a match between these two, I don't know if he should have done it, but it was effective nonetheless.
And Daniels right back into that submission hold now, stretching the shoulder, stretching the neck area, focusing away from the abdominal muscles, now going to the neck. Perhaps Daniels landed on Styles in such a way where he thinks he has another weakness he can exploit on the phenomenal wall.
And this is an extension of Super Indy 3. It's the type of action we've seen all night long. Because let's face it, these two guys, Super Indy competitors, and they're doing a great job inside that ring. Unbelievable, methodical wrestling here tonight, Joe.
But like I mentioned earlier, it's not about the Super Indy Championship. That's relinquished at the end of this match as far as I know. This is about pride. This is about respect. This is about seeing, Arabian moonsault again. It's about competitive spirit and seeing who's the best. Daniels off the Arabian moonsault. Almost gets
only. I thought that was going to be all, but no, a very close 2.5 count right there.
Styles was just a little too close to the ropes for Daniels to pin him. Notice Styles tangled up in those ropes as he kicked out of that fall.
Unbelievable action between these two competitors inside the ring. And again, it's like poetry in motion. Look at these guys, Joe, still going back and forth.
Still in a stalemate after all this time. AJ charges. A clothesline counter, the elbows out of the STO attempt. AJ Styles scoops him up.
Could it be?
Spinning Uranagi. I'm not sure if you got all of it, but the spinning Uranagi connects on the fallen angel, Christopher Daniels.
Guys, sorry about that. I just had to spill some gas out of my body part.
Oh, bye.
You'll smell in a second.
That's okay. We may have to change. Thank you,
Don't
Balls.
waft. Do not waft, Balls.
Thank you, Balls. We may have
Sorry
to.
about that, guys. I had to take a pause. This is how bad my body is. I just stood up to pop for that, and my knee went out.
Hard shot by Styles, and a knife edge chop takes down Daniels.
Well, hopefully-
Big kick to the face of Daniels. Styles has a second win. He's in control. Samurai head scissors. Beautifully done.
What action still being displayed by these
Just in
two
the
men?
close line.
Hits it right in. Hurricane Rana.
What a takedown. Such
Why
fluidity.
did he
Such
not try
grace.
to go for a cover right there? This is about winning, not about trying to be a flash.
Hey, Styles is still trying to battle back. He's trying to hit these high impact moves to subdue
he's trying
Daniels
to battle back,
to a
he
point where he
should've
can
tried
pin
to
him.
Watch
Oh,
it.
wait,
I agree
charging.
with you. Look out.
Diving off the top.
And it looks like to
Touching
me,
nothing.
AJ Styles took the brunt of that.
Flip dive,
Oh.
touching nothing. Unbelievable.
Balls, when's the last time you used that move in your repertoire?
1996.
Interesting. I think I remember it.
No, you don't, 'cause I wasn't balls then.
Oh, well, maybe I don't.
Both men
I was
hit.
a Buddha Singh and Boo Bradley, and both Buddha Singh and Boo Bradley both did a jumping helo over the top rope. One against Alto Rotten, and one against, what was his name? Jimmy Cicero.
The
Both men,
wise guy.
both men hitting the
wise
ground
guy,
with a
Jimmy
splat.
Boo Bradley did his Jimmy Cicero.
Can we stay on topic,
Oh,
folks?
well,
AJ Styles
Both
just
men
did a
hitting-
super helo over the top rope, and it looked like to me that AJ Styles took the brunt of that.
Both men hitting with a very sickening thud on the other side of the ring. You gotta wonder if either of these guys have anything left to continue.
Oh, they got it left. Listen to this crowd. They definitely have it left.
there's no question. Neither one of these guys are going to let a move like that stop this match.
Well, Styles executed the move, but Daniels is the first one left in the ring. It might have taken more out of Styles
No, they're still on their feet.
than it did Daniels.
course they
Unbelievable.
are.
Spins
Look
up. Phenomenon. The phenomenon. He calls it the phenomenon. That's springboard into the emergency.
This could be it.
Cover. No. Near
Daniels
fall.
kicks out. That's all energy, endurance, and you know what? That's desire.
What a battle. Desire is absolutely right. The will to win is what it's about.
More gas just passed.
You know,
Have some decorum.
Well, hey, at least
Neckbreaker counter of the suplex. Beautiful move by Styles. Cover. Goose raised down. Another kick out.
Sorry I want Chris Daniels tonight. I'm biased.
Well, I'm used to that with Kingdom James always over here, but that's okay.
But I will not interfere. I will not set foot in this match. I just want to see who's going to win. I just enjoy Christopher Daniels.
Joe, please wipe off your glasses. They're all fogged
I
up.
enjoy AJ Styles also, but Christopher Daniels is one of my favorites.
Blue Thunder Bomb. The Blue Thunder Bomb gets a count of 2.
Joe, I thought that was it.
That's a Daniels specialty. Learn that over in Japan. The Blue Thunder Bomb takes down AJ, but only for a count of 2. And listen to the fans rally behind AJ. AJ's been here more often. He's the sentimental
AJ's
favorite.
on regular television. This is ridiculous.
He's the local
These
favorite.
people should be for Christopher
Hey,
Daniels.
but Daniels is well known around these parts too.
So's Balls Mahoney, but they don't chant for me like that. You know why they chant for me?
Standing Uranagi by Christopher Daniels.
I'm not going to do that. Here comes Chris Daniels.
The BME,
Double
best
jump moonsault.
moonsault ever. But Styles countered the BME, the
There's
best
the
moonsault
elbow.
ever. AJ elbows out of it. Stuck to the right hand. German suplex. Rolls through.
A reload into
Belly to back. Face buster. Beautiful move by Styles.
This is it. It's got to be
He's
over.
got the cover too.
That's it.
He oh man. Another kick out. As Balls applauds Daniels' effort.
Chris Daniels wants this so bad. I know Chris.
There's no doubt about that.
Chris wants something this bad in a long time. Come on,
Both these men want this so bad. That's why they're still in this match. Putting past all the pain, all the fatigue, to still keep fighting.
And you know what? There's only one organization that's going to bring it to you, and it's IWC Wrestling. This
And
is
you
what
better
it's
believe
all about right here. I don't know what to say.
Don't take it,
Unbelievable.
Chris.
Where else can you get this on free television? Is he going to the Styles Clash?
Go for it.
Daniels drops to one knee, turns into dead weight, countering the Styles Clash. Styles tries to muscle him up again, softens him up a little more. Can he get Daniels up? He can't. Does he even have enough energy to get Daniels up at this point?
I thought he was
Powerbomb attempt.
Pile driver.
Counter with a kick.
A roll-up Joe.
He's got it. No, he hangs on. Styles reverses. Go behind him his own. Shot to the kidney. Styles flips up.
Oh.
Goes to the phenomenon. Daniels counters. Northern Lights. Northern Lights leg hook. Oh my God. What a near fall.
Referee
Daniels.
Bruce Ray had to be a half an inch away from a 3 count right there.
Out of nowhere, Daniels counters that offense, hits the Northern Lights, and just like that, a split second could be the difference. Daniels almost defeated Styles out of nowhere.
I'm not commentating
Unbelievable.
anymore because I'm biased. I'm going to go watch just like the other fans and I'll sip on my merchandise.
Do it. All right.
We certainly thank Balls Mahoney for his guest commentary.
Hey, Joe.
We couldn't get
First off,
we got to regroup from that.
well, it's
Don't hit the camera. Daniels high as that move, cover to Styles, all over the phone. My God.
Joe, it's tough to get a word in edgewise, but you know what? I don't mind. I love to sit there and hear the years of experience that Balls Mahoney has. And I tell you what, the guy may have a future taking your job.
What? Balls Mahoney, I'll tell you what. A class act. Obviously, he has an interest in this match. Obviously, he's got a lot of experience. He gets a little too excited, but I like the guy. But now back to action.
Absolutely. And one final word with Balls Mahoney. If I'm Sebastian Dark, I'm going to be
Jumping into Gurry kick. Balls and Dark is a war to be set on another day. But right now we have the two greatest athletes in independent wrestling today, putting it all on the line, giving you of their souls for this match.
Well, that's obviously a debatable comment right there, but you know what? I would tend to perhaps agree with you. Perhaps two of the best in independent wrestling today, bar none. I would perhaps agree.
But
could be a good argument.
Do any of these guys have enough left to stand up? Styles using the ropes for leverage back to his feet. Daniels back up as well. Vertical base. Look at how tired both men are. They've been battling for an astronomically long amount of time.
To be able to throw punches this late in the game.
Do they have anything behind them? That's the question.
Well, can you hear him, Joe? I can hear him all the way back here.
Great point there. AJ Styles getting the best of the fisticuffs exchange. Hard knife edge chop from the fallen angel. My God, what effort, what heart, what guts, what drive, what determination, what competitive spirit as they trade forearm shots back and forth. This is the art form of professional wrestling. This is why you're a fan.
I would agree with that, Joe.
Backslide, 2, kick out. Styles, Lama, he's struck cradle. Lama, he's struck. He's got 3.
Oh.
No.
2 count only, close to it. That.
Pele kick countered. He went for the Pele. Oh, counter. Oh my God. What an ear fall. Daniels up and over, sunset flip. Styles counters. Charges in. Up and over Daniels. Trying to go for the sunset flip. He muscles him over. Turns around. Styles clash. Styles clash. Styles clash.
He hit it. Could this be
That's it. That's it. 3. Oh my God. Much like last month with Homicide, Daniels found some way, somehow, to muster up enough strength to kick out of the Styles clash.
Joe, I don't know who's going to be worse off after this match. AJ, Christopher Daniels, or you.
This isn't about me.
Unbelievable.
What a hell of a match. How can you not get into this? They can't believe what we're seeing.
Unbelievable. I'll be honest with you, Joe. I almost rang the bell on that one. I was going to call that myself.
AJ Styles earned so many people's respect. He's beaten Colt Cabana. He's beaten Homicide. He's beaten so many. But the tide has switched. The fan support is behind the Fallen Angels as AJ signals for a second Styles clash.
If he goes for it, he might be going to the well once too often. I wouldn't.
Daniels counters. Jackknife pin. Jackknife pin.
No.
Oh my God. Another near fall. Oh my. Lariat. 2, 3. Beat him. Spinning lariat spells the end. Good God, what a match. What an effort. What a bunch of great athletes. This is one of the most unbelievable athletic contests I've ever seen. Balls Mahoney not corrected his prediction, but AJ Styles, what a corkscrew lariat, hitting Daniels after so many minutes of a hard-fought war. You got to give it up to both these men. But right now, AJ Styles retains the Super Indy title for now. But he's got Chris Sabin to worry about. The winner of Super Indy 3, rightfully entitled to that championship, is Chris Sabin. But right now, it's Styles' moment of glory. chants start to echo throughout the building. And deservingly so. What an insanely competitive, unbelievably exhilarating, remarkably exciting Super Indy title match. Daniels and Styles face to face center ring. Are we gonna see a handshake? We do. Both men showing the sportsmen and the athletes they are. Styles and Daniels. And here comes Chris Sabin to claim his championship. Sabin winning Super Indy 3 a few moments ago. He embraces with these men as well. Styles and Daniels had an athletic contest that wasn't about the belt.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening, and it is the very special three-way dance, and it will be participating under elimination rules.
Summer Sizzler 2004. It's a three-way dance. AJ Styles, Homicide, and the Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels. My name is Jeff Gorman, and it's a pleasure to bring you this match along with Joe Dombrowski. And Joe, we've had a couple of Match of the Year candidates, and they've involved these three guys.
No doubt about that. And anyone that disputes that fact is out of their mind. AJ versus Homicide, April 2004. Styles kicks out of the Cop Killer. Homicide kicks out of the Styles Clash. AJ eventually edges out a victory. May 2004, Daniels Styles. Daniels kicks out of the Styles Clash. Again, Styles somehow changes up his style to get the win.
Monkey flip by Daniels, and now a satellite head scissors. Daniels takes Styles over the hip toss. Homicide takes him down. And a beautiful drop kick by Homicide.
And when you take all three of those elements and put it together in one match, how can you get anything but greatness?
Right, over and out goes Homicide. So you see all three men in the ring. There's no tags. It's just a three-way battle all the way through. And it's elimination. So someone's going to get pinned, and then the last two battle out. Double dive.
Daniels.
No! Daniels turned on him. And the fans respond.
It may come down to just that outsmarting your opponent, but we have to touch briefly on injuries. Notice Daniels hits the jumping sidekick, has his left shoulder taped. He was out most of the summer with a shoulder injury that may have been re-aggravated a little bit a few days ago down in Nashville. But regardless, Daniels is blocking out the pain and fighting through it, but there's a bullseye on his body.
That's right, and there's really no way to hide it. The other guys are going to have to go after that. AJ catching Homicide up top. Homicide trying to fight back, and there's a tornado DDT blocked.
AJ
overhead suplex by Homicide.
We have a cover in the ring, cover, 2.
And 2.
And AJ Styles has spent much of the past month recovering from a knee injury he suffered in TNA, attempting a tope con hilo, landing knee first on a guardrail. He hasn't shown any signs of that anymore, but it's still something to look out for.
Nice exploder suplex by Homicide on Daniels. Goes for the pin. So Homicide relatively healthy, although he wrestles a very reckless style. And he's been in a brutal feud with Samoa Joe in Ring of Honor over the ROH title. And that'll take a lot out of you going after Samoa Joe as many times as Homicide has.
Think about where these men have been. Christopher Daniels, competing for the WWF, WCW, NWA, Ring of Honor rings. He's the major star in Japan. He's picked up so much in so many places. He has the experience there.
Shot battle here between Styles and Homicide. This is a match that the fans have been looking for a long time, ever since it was announced. Styles, Daniels, Homicide. The fans really came out for it. Rear chin lock, and Daniels trying to break it up, but unable to.
Meanwhile, Styles competing. Oh, we have a two-way chin lock here. Styles is competing for the WWF, WCW, NWA, and Ring of Honor. Has the momentum advantage.
We should mention AJ Styles holding every belt that there was in the NWA, and he was also the first twice, and also the first pure wrestling champion in Ring of Honor.
And keep in mind, Homicide, even though he's not as well traveled, that doesn't mean he's any less talented. Homicide will be where AJ and Daniels both are in a year or two, and that is the greatest dropkick I think I've ever seen.
A breathtaking dropkick, and now Daniels moves in behind Styles. And it's a back suplex by the Fallen Angel. Bruce Gray's really gonna have to be on his toes to follow all three of these men. And a headbutt by Daniels, and that hurt his own head.
This match has been promoted for weeks on IWCWrestling.com, our website, as well as IWC Ignition Television on WCN. And it's easy to see why these three men are going to give us greatness.
Homicide coming close there, but Daniels able to kick out. Now AJ with a chop, and we'll see if anyone decides to go after that shoulder. I know Styles is pretty close to the shoulder, and now a chop to the back of Styles by Homicide. And with three guys who are wrestling at such a high caliber, plus the really unpredictable nature of this match, there's no way to tell who's going to win this. And that, to me, is the best part. It's impossible to predict the winner here.
And just to show you how great these men are and how widely respected they are, back during Styles versus Daniels,
STF, one of Homicide's finishers, but here comes AJ from behind.
During Styles versus Daniels, wrestling veteran of 12 years, Balls Mahoney came out, forced himself on our announce table because he was so enthused by this match and he respected them so much. He just had to come out and see it firsthand instead of backstage on a monitor.
I'm sorry I missed that. I would have liked to commentate with Balls.
No, you wouldn't.
Big backbreaker by AJ Styles. And this match has been pretty even all the way through, as you'd expect, because the third man is always going to have an advantage. Snap suplex, floating into a pin and a 2 count.
And that third man is the extra intangible here that these guys aren't used to. They've been to the one-on-one plenty of times, but with a 3-way, it's very, very rare. In fact, the last 3-way I remember here in IWC was way back in December of '02 with Daniel Styles and CM Punk.
Whoa! Homicide just got blasted by AJ, but Daniels caught AJ and a 2 count. And the good thing about this match is that it's elimination, so you don't have people continually breaking up the falls. You want people to get pinned, because then you're down to one-on-one. So it's not a situation where a lot of falls are going to be broken up. Homicide was waiting to clothesline somebody. It just turned out to be Daniels.
Notice how whenever person A turns their attention to person B, person C is right there to capitalize on the distraction.
That's right. Homicide with a huge shot to the back. Everything Homicide does just has so much venom behind it. Big shot.
We often talk about AJ Daniels and Homicide can wrestle any style.
Boston Crab.
With Homicide, he cannot just wrestle any style, he can fight any style too. Correct me if I'm wrong, didn't he team with Abdullah the Butcher at one point?
That's right, he did. I was very honored to be on that for Ring of Honor's Night of the Butcher. Make sure you go pick it up.
There's nothing Homicide can't do. Technical wrestle, fight, brawl. He can do anything. He can fly. Remember that breathtaking through the ropes tope we saw him lay into AJ Styles a couple months ago.
Daniels has a chair set up, and he's going to slam Homicide onto it. That's not what I expected him to do. So Daniels getting an advantage here on Homicide. And here comes AJ coming around from behind.
And you got to remember here, with person C always focusing in on this match, there's absolutely no time for rest. Even less so than in a typical one-on-one match. That's not going to favor a guy like Daniels.
Whoa! Daniels backdropping Homicide to the hard floor.
Even though Daniels has a lot of endurance, he's been a primarily tag team-based wrestler in this country lately, teaming with Elix Skipper in the NWA.
Oh, nice slingshot into a senton, and a 2 count by AJ Styles. That's right, he's been in a lot of tag team matches, but of course Daniels has been in so many singles matches in his career that he can just very easily flow between one and the other.
We should also mention that AJ Styles just recently finishing his, I believe, 3rd reign as NWA X Division Champion of the World. Trademark AJ knee drop. As it took 2 men to beat Styles in that matchup, however. He lost under very dubious circumstances. Many still consider AJ the best of the X Division wrestlers.
And we should mention that the current X Division champion, Petey Williams, is going to be making his debut here in the IWC.
That's right, August 27th and 28th, Petey Williams will be on both those cards. 27th here in West Mifflin, 28th, Coley Auditorium, Erie, PA. Make sure you get the tickets for that. Petey Williams' Canadian Destroyer is something to be seen.
And it is Homicide now working on AJ Styles with a nice
Tiger Bomb.
2 count. Homicide almost getting a 3 count. Daniels took a little time to recover there, and now it's paying off for him. Nailing Homicide in the back of the head. And now looks like the Fallen Angel has his 2nd win. Sending Homicide with that body drop. Now with AJ. Same thing. Big enziguri by Daniels. And one for Styles.
Jumping enziguri kick of basic agility by Daniels has turned the tide completely in his favor.
Now that's a smart move by the veteran Daniels. He waited, he rested up, and then he just unleashed a flurry on both guys. Now he could be going for the Angel's Wings.
That might be why he just shouted out Angel's Wings.
You know, that's true. All my hearing tests came back positive. Angel Wings new. AJ Styles blocks it. Here comes Homicide with a clothesline.
Nip up into the Hurricane Rod, a vintage AJ offense.
Beauty. And Homicide is out.
Time that at just the right second. And now Homicide on the outside of the ring. If AJ or Daniels can get a quick roll up here, they can get one of these guys out.
Here comes AJ with a pescado. Notice how he totally spreads his body out for maximum impact.
The extension on that body was beautiful. So graceful in all of his movements.
That's why AJ has been so successful everywhere he goes, including here in the IWC, where he's our only 2-time Super Indy champion. And now Daniels moving in, but he got caught by AJ. Over. AJ's got him, but Daniels rocks him with a couple elbows. Countered into a sunset flip. Styles clash. Here it comes. Homicide says no thanks. How about a Yakuza kick for ya?
Now that might have been a mistake there. A Styles clash more often than not finishes off the opponent. They could have weakened Daniels, eliminated
Cop
him.
killer. Sorry.
I guess it
Cop
was.
killer.
I guess it was for pride. Homicide wants to do it himself.
Guess what? Cop killer. Oh no, Daniels gets out of it. Daniels going right back. Last rights, no. Counter. Oh!
One half DDT, one half Uranagi suplex. Daniels retains control of the match.
And the fans respond one more time. And the fans chanting IWC.
Hometown pride for the promotion that's putting Pittsburgh wrestling back on the map.
Not just in the country, but the world. We got fans from Japan and I think Italy here tonight. Here for the big wrestling tour, also going to SummerSlam in a couple days. And they're seeing an outstanding card tonight, topped off by this one. Daniels heading up. No one's been eliminated yet in this three-way dance. Both guys coming up, and they both catch Daniels. Have a nice flight.
Now this is what they should have done 2 minutes ago. Oh, but again, pride becomes a factor. They can't coexist long enough to knock one of the guys out of the mat.
Here we go, face wash, and he caught him good with the knee. Homicide really got Daniels good.
I think Styles might have went for that discus lariat. He's won a lot of matches with that too. Scoops
Here
him
we
up.
go. Around into the backbreaker.
Spinning Uranagi's backbreaker doubles over Homicide.
Are we gonna get elimination?
This could be it.
No, he's in the ropes.
Tight cover, bad ring position.
And Daniels starting to recover one more time. We'll see if he can unleash another flurry. Here comes the fallen angel. We got caught by Styles. Oh, and he caught Styles going up. What a great counter that was.
Styles might have tried to spring up into the phenomenon there, but now, double German.
Everyone's battling for a double German.
Styles hang on.
I don't think we have any Germans here tonight, but we could be seeing two. No, moonsault into the phenomenon.
There's that phenomenon.
Oh, DDT and an inverted DDT. It's 2 for 1 night here in the IWC.
Phenomenon flatliner variation and another near fall.
And that's, no, in the ropes. What a war this has been, and we still have not had an elimination yet. Styles in a suplex
into the neck breaker.
Daniels did a good job escaping that, but he couldn't escape the reverse neck breaker. And 2.
Well, I think that was there as AJ luring Daniels into a false sense of security. AJ let him counter the suplex because he knew the neck breaker was coming up. Another vintage Styles move.
And we talked about this in the Hero Punk match. This match is as much mental as it is physical. It's a lot about ring positioning. It's a lot about attacking your opponent or opponents when they don't see it coming.
And here's what you got to think of. Look at that.
Great drop kick in the corner. Homicide caught AJ. And there's the Ace Crusher, as he calls it, because of his Japanese influence.
And a power slam to Daniels. But what you got to think about, I think we're showing signs of this already. Daniels and Styles flew in from Orlando, Florida today. They have jet lag. There was bad weather down there.
Whoa.
They're not nearly
bad weather. They got 2 hurricanes down there. That's an understatement.
Not nearly as fresh as Homicide. Discus lariat, Homicide countered.
Styles caught him. Fraud hold into a roll up. 2 and 3. Homicide is out. A good job sitting down into a victory roll by Styles, and he got the 3 count. Homicide, another outstanding performance, but he's out of here. It's going to be Styles and Daniels.
So much for jet lag. The two guys,
Homicide is eliminated.
the 2 guys that flew in from Universal Studios Orlando, TNA Impact, now to the IWC, have to wrestle.
Homicide still doesn't think that was 3, but I'm sure there'll be another day for Homicide. He has looked awesome every time we see him.
And he can't have any regrets. A great effort against 2 of the absolute best in the world, him himself being one of the best in the world.
That's right, and Homicide, he's not being a poor sport. This guy has so much pride, so much will to win. Whoa, wait a minute.
Well, wait a second.
Now this is a bit uncalled for. Here comes
everybody. We had the locker room
Wait a
emptying.
minute. We got a pull apart brawl here.
We have to get Homicide out of here to continue this match.
That's right, it's not over yet.
Referees, officials, security, other wrestlers, empty to get these guys apart.
Styles not very happy with Homicide. Homicide wasn't happy with the count.
IWC promoter Norm Connors making his way to ringside as well.
And this is really good news for Daniels. He's getting quite a good rest here. Norm Connors trying to help the referees restore some order.
Well, you know, we talked about it with guys like Alex Shelley, guys that come in and don't make their mark right away. They get frustrated. Here, Homicide has reached his breaking point.
And, you know, sometimes it takes guys a while to... Oh, 1, 2. No, only 2.
Homicide's so concerned about not falling off the IWC radar that, in fact, it's caused him to snap.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen. I think Homicide's going to be on everyone's radar. Round into a blue thunder bomb. That's going to be 2, and no! 3 was on the way down.
And now we have that rematch from the title match that was not a part of the Super Indy 3 tournament, but was part of the card. Daniel Styles, the battle for respect, pride, and competitive spirit rekindled here.
And now Daniel's getting a little bit upset at AJ's fans, but now Daniel's fans have woken right up.
This crowd is dead even. How can it not be with the amount of competitive spirit and talent in the ring?
Oh, AJ caught Daniels really good with those shots. Styles has eliminated Homicide. We'll see if he can do the same to Daniels and emerge victorious. Setting up the Fallen Angel. Reversal. Drop toe hold, rolled over into a submission hold. Single leg Boston Crab.
Beautiful float over. And notice him targeting AJ Styles' knee. We talked about it at the outset of the match. AJ Styles has that knee injury in the past. About a month ago, Daniel's trying to exploit that.
And you see Styles trying to power out of this, trying to do a sit-up here, or a push-up. I don't know my calisthenics very well, as you can tell. But he was unable to get out of that, and it's a single leg Boston Crab, still cinched in by Daniel.
And if there was any time that AJ was going to give up, it would be now. All that torque, not only on the back, but on the knee as well, wrenching that leg.
He's got a long way to go. He's trying to make the ropes, but it's not going to be an easy task.
Also close.
Oh, Daniels just dragged him in. He might have to sit here. Into a bow and arrow. Great submission there. But that time Styles reached the ropes. Daniels trying everything he can to win this match. So many different moves in his arsenal, and that's why Daniels has reached such a high level here in the States and in New Japan. In fact, he won his first championship, a tag team title with American Dragon this year.
Jumping enziguri kick by Styles, and right now, we're back to dead even.
After all this time, it's a dead heat. And these fans are so into it, even though it's almost 11:30 p.m. here. Everyone's on the edge of their seat. And the AJ fans get it started. Both men getting back up. Daniels unable to get out of the way at these clotheslines. There's number 3.
Not the discus lariat, he likes to hit, but still a version of it.
Oh, brainbuster. Here we go. 2, no. Daniels kicks out.
And Styles can't believe it. Not often you see AJ lose concentration and ask the referee, was that 3? But this is the case. Daniels matches up with AJ so well, they're on the same playing field here.
Well, Daniels, that fight with Homicide, after Homicide got eliminated, he was getting ready to focus on Daniels, and suddenly he had a brawl on his hands. Sends Daniels in, and Daniels caught with the elbow. Second rope. Oh! How about that?
The phenomenon.
Daniels using Styles' own move, the Phenomenon, and he pointed to the crowd.
He's gonna beat him with it.
How do you like that?
That's the first time I've ever seen anyone use the Phenomenon other than AJ Styles.
And he hit it absolutely perfectly, too. Daniels can do it all. And now I think he's going to go for the last rites. Something tells me. There it is, countered. Boot. Angel Wing.
No way.
Daniels' own finisher used against him. Styles gets 1, 2, no.
Both of these guys trying to pull out all the stops, trying to beat one another with the other's finishing move. Just one extra one up for this match.
Not only win the match, but really get in each other's heads. Styles clash coming up. There's the signal.
Styles thinks it's over, but he's been wrong before.
Here it comes.
Does he have enough strength to lift him?
Daniels trying to drop down, trying to make himself dead weight. And it's working so far. Styles can't get him up.
Daniels down on that knee, so much harder to lift up.
Here
when
it
he's at
comes.
vertical base.
Got out of it.
Daniels bridges up and over.
Countered. Last right. There it is. 1, 2, he got him.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this contest, the Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels.
Just an outstanding match, exactly as we thought it would be. Unable to pick a winner, of course, but it's the Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels, hitting the last rights absolutely out of nowhere to get the fall.
I'll tell you what, Jeff, these guys gave everything in their system. They poured it all out for this match. AJ Daniels and even Homicide, even though he was less than respectful when he was eliminated, showed a great showing. But what's going to happen in this Homicide AJ saga?
That's right, we have not heard the last of him. And the Hero Punk situation may not be over after that 30-minute draw. Another match that really lived up to expectations, despite the fact that we didn't get a winner.
You gotta know Hero and Punk will get it on sometime soon. And you gotta know AJ and Homicide will cross paths again as well. And as far as I'm concerned, when that happens, it will be a matter of respect.
Okay, anything else you want to say before we go?
It's been an amazing ride. I can't wait to be back here in 2 weeks on August 27th for IWC's Hell Have No Fury. Who is he? And why is he returning to IWC?
Yeah, we still have to find out who he is that's coming on the 27th. Thank you very much for joining us. On behalf of all of us here in the IWC, for Joe Dombrowski, for my beautiful daughter Graceland who helped out, this is Jeff Gorman, and we'll see you next time.
Let's hear for AJ Styles.
Is scheduled for one fall, and it will be wrestled under Ring of Honor rules with a 30-minute time limit. Introducing to you first, weighing in at 210 pounds, he hails from the City of the Angels. Please welcome the Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels.
I'm the greatest of all times. I'ma say it just like Ali did.
The champ is here! The champ is here! The champ is here! The champ is here!
Good, ladies and gentlemen, introducing, weighing in at 270 pounds, he hails from America, Samoa, and he is the current reigning Ring of Honor champion. Here is Samoa Joe!
Champions ahead, he took it from crack to rap. Now he put out 2 anthems a year. And I just want to rock it for a century. And chase the
Go, Joe!
Here we go. We've got Samoa Joe, the Ring of Honor champion, in a non-title match, taking on the Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels, one of our feature matches here at IWC Boiling Point. My name is Jeff Gorman, along with Joe Dombrowski and Kingdom James.
Hello!
And even though the title is not on the line, this match will be under Ring of Honor rules. That is the Code of Honor. You saw the pre-match handshake that did not take place because Chris Daniels, as the leader of the Prophecy, is against the Code of Honor and does not shake hands. Also, no countouts, no run-ins, and no attacking the ref. See, we're all caught up on the Code of Honor.
Samoa Joe new to this area, but definitely not new to all the smarter indie wrestling fans. As a brief overview, Samoa Joe starting with the UPW training school in California in 1999, training with current WWE superstar John Cena back then. Had a lot of success in that organization. In fact, he won the UPW heavyweight title back in 2001. And Jeff, do you happen to know who Samoa Joe defeated for that title?
I couldn't tell you.
None other than the Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels.
Well, how about that? And a tie-up here in 2004 in the IWC. Samoa Joe, his title isn't on the line, but you know he's not going to take the night off. His reputation is always on the line.
Samoa Joe also with success over in 0-1 over in Japan. Back to UPW at successful title defenses against the likes of Tommy Dreamer and Sean O'Hare. And I'm sure, Jeff, you could tell us some of the more high-profile superstars he defended the title against in Ring of Honor.
I certainly could. One that we have to mention right off the bat is the 60-minute draw he had with CM Punk back in June of this year in Dayton. As he gets a series of 2 counts. That show is called World Title Classic, an amazing 60-minute draw between Samoa Joe and CM Punk. You gotta check that one out.
And Samoa Joe has been Ring of Honor heavyweight champion for 19 months now.
That's right. He won the belt from Xavier way back in the spring of 2003. In fact, there have only been 3 guys who have ever held the title: Low-Ki, Xavier, and Samoa Joe.
And we need to talk about Low-Ki's involvement in this situation. Posting a statement on our website, Low-Ki is calling out Samoa Joe, challenging him to a match in IWC in the month of November. And Low-Ki is back in this country, ready to exact revenge, but he won't show up at an IWC event until a match is signed with Samoa Joe.
Front face lock applied by Chris Daniels on the champion.
Can I add my own piece of pointless information about the two of them?
Hop in.
They've both appeared on the Discovery Channel.
They have? How so?
Why, yes. Christopher Daniels in an hour-long documentary about the UPW school. Samoa Joe on an episode of Monster Garage.
Way to add some entertainment to the sport.
Hey, man, I try.
Daniels trying to control the bigger Samoa Joe, who has a 60-pound weight advantage. And look out, the champ hammering down.
Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that's clubbering.
That's right, there's a clubbering in there. Grinding that headlock now is the champ Samoa Joe. We should mention Chris Daniels is a champion again now, too.
That's right, just days ago he won one half of the NWA TNA World's Tag Team titles for what I believe is his 4th reign with that title. Congratulations go out to Daniels here. It's national champion versus national champion here in an IWC ring.
And the fans rooting for both guys as we have factions supporting both wrestlers. Samoa Joe trying to lean on Chris Daniels, wear him down just the way Daniels was wearing him down earlier on.
And you mentioned the Prophecy earlier. Keep in mind, Samoa Joe was the hired hitman of Chris Daniels in Ring of Honor several years ago. So Samoa Joe's first breakout run in Ring of Honor, you can say that was started in part by Daniels.
In fact, he made his debut at Glory by Honor. He was brought in as a hitman by Daniels to take out Low-Ki, and that was an incredible match called the Fight Without Honor. And that's something you also need to see. That's one of the best matches that I've ever had the privilege to announce. Low-Ki and Samoa Joe in the Fight Without Honor at Glory by Honor.
One of the most brutal matches I've ever seen was Low-Ki versus Samoa Joe. When you look at that, there's no doubt as to why Low-Ki shrouded himself in mystery as the mysterious he and called out Samoa Joe for all these many weeks.
Anyway, Samoa Joe in that match signaled that he was going to be a major player, and he has been a major player ever since he showed up in Ring of Honor, and down he goes.
Head of steam from Samoa Joe. Huge shoulder tackle. The guy reminds me in build and in intensity of Steve Dr. Death Williams.
That's a good point. We haven't really seen anybody really like Samoa Joe since, I think, Steve Dr. Death Williams, as far as the size and the explosion.
Huge barrel chest, a lot of power out of him. Head that could butt its way through a brick wall, probably.
And Daniels taking a little bit of time here, trying to come up with a new idea here. We should also mention that these two mentioned with the title on the line last year at Glory by Honor 2, which was exactly about a year ago. And Samoa Joe successfully defended the title, beating Daniels. So Daniels has been waiting a year to get his hands on Samoa Joe one more time. Although he wouldn't walk off with the belt if he wins here, he would really get a measure of revenge.
As Joe takes Daniels down with a side headlock takeover, might be a good time as we have a cover. Might be a good time to plug our affiliates, of course, our good friends at Digital Horizons, taping this for us. But of course, this event also being sold on SmartMarkVideo.com and ROHWrestling.com.
That's right. We see Daniels with the crossface here, really grinding it out on the champion Samoa Joe.
Really? All those places are showing this?
See what you miss?
Well, I'm glad we all got dressed up.
This is a good shirt, man.
Back to what matters. Daniels now reversing the momentum. He has Joe in the side headlock.
And it's strange how this match has really been very, very mat-based. You know, they've both been trying to wear each other down. Samoa Joe hitting a little bit of the power moves, but eventually, if Daniels is going to win, he's going to have to start moving around the ring a little more.
Well, here's a strength maneuver from Samoa Joe right now, hitting the thighs around the head of Christopher Daniels, just like a vice. Squeeze the brains right out of his ear.
That's right. This really plays to Samoa Joe's advantage. Daniels has got to escape right now.
And even though these men have titles of their own, you have to think what implications this match will have on IWC's Super Indy title. Keep in mind, it was just a few short weeks ago at Summer Sizzler that Christopher Daniels defeated AJ Styles and Homicide in a three-way dance.
Cross arm breaker. He's got hooked. Submission, no, he's going to get to the ropes.
Joe saw the escape coming and decided not to let it happen.
As I was saying, if Daniels defeats Joe here tonight, you can't deny him a shot at the Super Indy title or any title for that matter. Look at that.
Headbutts right to the wrist, really punishing Daniels. Takes him over with the arm lock.
A half dozen Samoa Joe headbutts or 100 hours typing on your computer. You're going to get carpal tunnel syndrome.
You got it. And Samoa Joe continues to torture the left arm of the fallen angel Christopher Daniels.
Well, we saw Daniels, and Jeff, you know that I'm big on this. We saw Daniels walk into the ring with his shoulder bandaged up, his trapezius bandaged up. That is a sign. That's a free shot sign to Samoa Joe. Come after this arm, come after this shoulder.
And he's certainly doing it. Samoa Joe doing a really good job of keeping Daniels grounded and working on the arm. Samoa Joe, a big, tough guy, but he's very underrated as far as his smarts, and he's also very underrated as far as his stamina, I should say, until the CM Punk match. He really opened everybody's eyes with his stamina and going 60 minutes with CM Punk at World Title Classic.
No doubt about that, and you'd think perhaps the smartest strategy for Daniels, look at that power.
And again, Daniels suffering under the hand of Samoa Joe.
You know, so many times you look at the guys like Daniels, Styles, Homicide, smaller built guys that wrestle this kind of style. When you've got somebody who's about 290 pounds doing the same stuff, there's so much more power behind it and so much more pain to every single move.
And Samoa Joe has really faced everybody under the sun in Ring of Honor. Guys like Jay Briscoe, like I mentioned, Chris Daniels. He's got a match coming up with Bryan Danielson, Rocky Romero, ROH throwing just everybody that they can at Samoa Joe. And it's amazing that he's been able to stay on top against that level of competition and that variety of competition.
That's the will to win, Jeff. He it's not just the ability, it's the will to win. You can have all the physical attributes, all the skill in the world, but if you don't have it inside yourself to use those tools, you're not going to get anywhere.
And Daniels trying to fight his way back here on Samoa Joe, trying to nail him in the midsection, but Joe cranks right back on the arm and kicks Daniels down.
Samoa Joe developing a definite pace of control over the fallen angel Christopher Daniels. One would think the smartest strategy here is to hit and run, take advantage of the speed advantage Daniels has, so he can't get trapped in any of those vices of submission moves that Joe possesses, or any of those hard-hitting strikes, but that's not been able to work at all for Daniels. He's been grounded and stuck in a horizontal situation for so many minutes now, and Joe not letting up.
And like a loaf of Pepperidge Farm bread, that arm is double wrapped, man.
Joe really wrestling his style of match here, not letting Daniels get on offense. He's showing why he has been the Ring of Honor champion for such a long time.
10 minutes has elapsed in this contest. 20 minutes remain.
That's right, there's a 30-minute time limit on this match. We know both these guys can go 30 minutes and more, and we'll see who's going to come out on top here. Daniels finally getting some separation.
But already the effects are showing Daniels having a very tough time moving that entire left arm. It's been hampering his career for weeks upon weeks now. Really ever since the beginning of the summer, he's had problems with that shoulder, and Joe is only making it worse.
Well, this is going to be very tough. Samoa Joe has been impossible to beat, and Daniels is pretty much trying to beat him with one arm, and he just took a foot to the face.
This is going to hamper him all match now. I know. I broke my left shoulder in the middle of a match, and there's no quit. You gotta keep going. And when you're down a limb, it's hard to fight.
Joe softening up Daniels. That last kick right in the arm.
The biggest problem now for Christopher Daniels is while he's thinking about offense, some way to beat Samoa Joe, he is now going to be deathly worried about protecting that arm.
He's got that Fujiwara armbar really cranked back, but Daniels, as smart as he is, able to get that foot on the rope.
Did you see the torque he had on that shoulder of Daniels, extending it in ways that was nowhere near meant to be extended? Even the Fallen Angel can't survive that long.
Listen to the impact on those kicks from the 270-pound Samoa Joe. And Daniels has been all over the world in a lot of tough fights, but this has to be one of the toughest. Daniels coming up with a reversal here. Sends Joe in. Shoulder block takes Daniels down. Samoa Joe and Daniels caught him with the knee.
Smart on Daniels' part. Go to a leg attack. Go to a leg-based offense. He has to protect that arm.
And he's got to follow up. He's in a lot of pain, but he's got to start landing some more blows before Samoa Joe gets up. Daniels moving in, trying to soften up Samoa Joe, and he kicks him back down.
Might be a mistake on Daniels' part. There's no way anyone, with a possible exception of Low-Key, can compete with Samoa Joe as far as stiff body strikes go.
But how much of a choice does Daniels have now?
That's right. This is going to be a test of Daniels' intelligence to try to take advantage of Samoa Joe and land some punishment considering his own handicap with his left arm.
And with Daniels, he's got the advantage. He truly is a thinking man's wrestler. He doesn't have to become one mid-match. He is one to begin with.
He's one of the smartest you'll see in there. Daniels continues to work on Samoa Joe. Thinking about his next move, takes him over the center there. And drops the elbow.
Daniels slowing down the pace, trying to create some distance in between himself and Samoa Joe. He's been running him so much punishment. He has to create open space, regroup, rethink, get some blood back into that arm, and then possibly try to mount a steady offense and maybe be the first one in almost 2 years to defeat Samoa Joe.
Whoa! Joe coming back with some severe chops. And Daniels right back with the knee. You see the toll this match has taken on both guys, and we're only at about the 12-minute mark.
15 minutes has elapsed in this contest. 15 minutes remain.
I stand corrected. 15 minutes.
You apparently can't tell time.
Apparently I can't. The clocks aren't working in Ohio either, and I got one in my pocket.
It's okay, Christmas is coming. You'll get a watch.
What are you getting, Joe?
Look at those stiff slaps to the top head of Daniels, but Daniels retaliating right back with stiff right hand.
Daniels not letting Samoa Joe fight his way out of it. He was starting to get peppered with some shots, and he knew he had to hit Samoa Joe right back.
Look at the intensity in both men's body movements. They know how important this match is. They know how many important eyes will end up seeing this match. And they're going to do anything in their power to make sure they come out on top.
Daniels sending Samoa Joe across with the Irish whip. Here we go, and a shoulder block. Again, Daniels using his good arm to do whatever he can.
Looks like Daniels may have found a weak point in Samoa Joe's anatomy. Seems to be targeting that midsection, maybe the rib cage area, trying to wear away at that. Perhaps he's aware of something or not in terms of an injury.
Well, Samoa Joe has really been battered and bruised throughout his 18-month title reign. It has not been easy taking on the best in Ring of Honor and hanging on to his belt. He suffered a lot of injuries. He's fought through them, and he's kept the belt, especially in the brutal war that Samoa Joe has had all year with Homicide.
And notice that move a moment ago by Daniels. ramming Samoa Joe's whole body into Daniels' knee. But the effects were short-term. Samoa Joe won a throw to the canvas, using that power to his advantage again.
And Samoa Joe right back on top.
It was a smart strategy by Daniels, trying to take away the air from Samoa Joe.
And the big knee drop.
Trying to take away Samoa Joe's air, trying to starve Joe's muscles, take away that power advantage. But Joe mustered up the strength, that incredible throw, almost a uranagi.
And two, you can only keep Samoa Joe down for so long.
And now, just size and weight, using it to his advantage. That's why it's called a size advantage, isn't it?
That's right.
You saw Samoa Joe, after he delivered those strikes, drop to both knees, just now finally getting back to his feet. Very apparent that Daniels has had a major effect on how Samoa Joe's operating right now.
Uh-oh, here we go. Fans starting up with the ole, ole, ole for the kick.
Face wash time.
Whoa. Here we go. The big ole kick. He likes to do that outside the ring sometime, and here he's going to settle for in the ring.
Not so much a wash as it is a sandblasting.
And Daniels feeling the effects in the corner as Samoa Joe starts to move in one more time. And a lot of the fans getting behind Samoa Joe, even though this is the first time that they've seen him wrestle here in the IWC. His reputation in ROH precedes him.
Up against a curry kick, tremendous agility.
Will that be enough? Hooks him over, two. Daniels kicks out.
Unbelievable move, jumping up like it was nothing and nailing Daniels right in the external occipital protuberance.
Thank you, Gorilla Jr.
You mean the bump on the back of his head?
That's right.
Samoa Joe has Chris Daniels now trying to put him away. And sends him in. Hooks him up.
And right back, focusing on that rib area, the abdominal stretch, tearing away at the intercostal cartilage between the ribs.
Intercostal cartilage, where are you getting that?
Grey's Anatomy.
And the fans really get riled up behind both guys. And he takes him out with a sweeping back kick.
And Daniels landed right on Samoa Joe's knees to boot.
Even though Samoa Joe's Ring of Honor title is not on the line, Joe has to feel like he's got to win every match, because one of the things that's helped Samoa Joe is that aura of invincibility, because he has been invincible with the title on the line. If Daniels or anybody beats him, even in a non-title match, everyone's going to say, okay, Samoa Joe's vulnerable, I can take that ROH title off of him.
Definitely.
Every match is a must-win for him.
In this contest, 10 minutes remain.
With Samoa Joe, winning isn't just encouraged, it's expected by now. If he loses any match, if he's pinned by anybody, it's going to make worldwide headlines.
Daniels fighting back now. He's got Samoa Joe doubled up. We'll see if he can win this match in the last 10 minutes of the time limit. Here we go. Oh! Overhead throw by Samoa Joe. Puts him over. No, Daniels kicks out.
Some incredible split-second decisions being made by both of these men to counter their opponent's potential offense. We saw Daniels slip into that abdominal stretch out of nowhere on Samoa Joe, and that overhead throw, incredible out of Joe.
Another big chop. Now he's setting up for some punches.
Right jabs, right to the jaw of Daniels.
Daniels really feeling the pain here.
Nothing flashy about this now. Samoa Joe means business.
Irish whip, here we go. Oh, and Joe goes in hard. And these fans are just not stopping.
Insult to injury. Daniels takes down Samoa Joe with a Samoan drop.
And did you notice moments ago, Samoa Joe crashing into the corner, ribs first.
Daniels is taking quite a pounding here, but he's dished out a lot too. Samoa Joe is vulnerable now, and we'll see if Daniels can put him away with one of his many moves.
And look at the intestinal fortitude both men are showing. Back up on their feet again, continuing this ultra-physical battle.
Clothesline, Joe doesn't move. One more time, and you can see there's that aura of invincibility. He doesn't want to even wobble. That time he wobbled and went down. Here we go. And there's the Cabana. And a 2 count.
Getting him in the ribs again. Joe, what was it you said? The intercontinental carpentry he's working on there?
Intercostal cartilage, but thanks for trying.
Oh, well, you know.
It's nice that we have someone here who even knows what a pancreatic fluberance is.
What?
What Joe said. Jawbreak on a spear by Daniel. Here we go. No, only 2. Daniel's coming so close to being the first guy in almost 2 years to beat Samoa Joe.
Well, Daniel's main source of hope now is to hurt those ribs, is to take the ribs out. Perhaps maybe hit a best moonsault ever or something like that. But Joe takes him. What a power slam, snapping him right in the back of his head. Cover.
And 2. And right into a cross arm breaker.
Daniel's trying to clasp the hands together so Samoa Joe cannot extend the arm.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
If the arm is extended, the elbow becomes hyperextended, especially when Samoa Joe has that much power behind it.
Is Daniels going to have to submit here?
Reaching for a rope with his heel, perhaps.
He's trying. He got it. He got the rope.
Just barely.
More good ring generalship by Chris Daniels. He was stuck in the middle of the ring, but he somehow squirmed around and got to the rope. And we are really seeing Samoa Joe show us what he's all about. We've seen him with the strikes, we've seen him with the wear-down holds, and the high-impact move, like the powerbomb, and 2, right over into a STF.
Very nice from Samoa Joe. Joe understands. He's heard Chuck announcing it. We are well thick into this match. There's not a lot of time left on the clock.
Maybe about 5-6 minutes, I'm guessing. And the fans cheering for Chris Daniels, who's trying not to submit here. And Joe in a good position here, even if he doesn't get a submission, like you said, King, if he can try to wear him down some more, maybe go toward the time limit. Although the belt isn't on the line, of course, it keeps you from losing if you get a draw.
Well, there's pride at stake here, and I think especially, strangely enough, especially on a show that is not Ring of Honor, on an IWC show where the title is not on the line, I think Samoa Joe needs to make the statement by pinning Christopher Daniels, just to prove. Not taking it easy, not taking it soft because it's not Ring of Honor. This is IWC. It's every bit as important.
That's right. Neither of these guys has taken anything less than 100% in this match. And Daniels with an enormous German
Welcome to
5 minutes elapsed. 5 minutes remain.
Ungodly power by Daniels as he takes Joe down, and both men down again. How much do these guys have left at this point?
Well, they've only got less than 5 minutes to do whatever they can do. And Daniels making his way up first. We're going to see both guys get a little bit desperate, go for something risky, maybe something high impact to get the win. Because like you said, Kingdom, there's a lot on the line here.
Yeah, I did.
That's why I quoted you. Daniels urging Joe to get up. Whoa!
Samoa Joe doesn't even have enough energy to get any force behind that clothesline. Daniels just sort of ran into him.
That's right. Daniels had something in mind that didn't quite work because Joe was able to knock him down and out, and Daniels is pretty woozy right now.
That was a momentary lapse in concentration by Daniels. Did not expect that arm to be outstretched. Thought Joe was a little more armed than he was. Oh my God.
Here we go!
Cocaine by a 270-pounder.
My bursitis is acting up just watching this match.
And the fans come to their feet as Samoa Joe shows that he can even fly as well. Samoa Joe's got to be winning a lot of fans for those people who are just seeing him for the first time. Of course, Christopher Daniels, very respected here in IWC and all over the world. And Joe, up with Daniels, tries to send him in the ring, maybe finish him off and get the 1, 2, 3.
Well, the clock is ticking. Time for both men to give it every single ounce of energy and determination they have left if they have any hopes of having a deciding winner.
And how many ounces is that, Joe?
Whoa! What a palm strike by Chris Daniels. And now the champ, just like that, is in big trouble.
Daniels going for the fall from grace. He's trying to lift Joe up over his head.
3 minutes remain. 3 minutes.
He had to stop because Samoa Joe was ripping his face off with his free hand.
Here we go. He's not going to try the fall from grace this time. Samoa's got him. Are we going to see the super muscle buster, perhaps? No, Daniel says, I don't want part of that. champ goes flying. That's gonna be 2, and no! Daniels almost pinned the champ just like that.
Just barely swinging all of that weight over his head. Samoa Joe comes crashing down, but yet another kick out.
We call for the Angel's wings. Here we go.
Joe with that upper body strength counters the attempt.
Sleeper. Applied by Joe, but a good sit out by Daniels into a victory roll. No, only 2. Both men up, and there's the Enziguri rocking Samoa Joe.
Right in the ear.
But Joe only down to a knee. He's in considerable pain, but he wasn't even taking all the way down from
2 minutes remaining.
Amazing the punishment that Joe can dish out and the punishment he can take. And Daniels has got to put something together here in the last 2 minutes. It's a 2-minute warning.
Well, Joe has got to shake off that shock to his equilibrium if he wants to come back.
Daniels is up. Here we go. Angel wings again. No. Samoa Joe backdrops him out of it. Oh, Daniels caught him with the knee. Time's running out, guys.
You don't have to tell us. You got to tell the 2 of them.
Daniels has suffered so much here. He's trying to put together a final flurry. Daniels up. Snapmare takes him over. Setting up for the last rights. Here we go. No. Joe countered that
1 minute. 1 minute remaining.
Sleeper again by Samoa Joe.
It's just a matter of can Daniels survive the 60 seconds.
Is this a mistake by Samoa Joe? Using a wear-down maneuver, using a submission maneuver. Now he's grapevining the body.
Here we go.
He doesn't need to pin Daniels to remain unbeaten, just needs to keep him being pinned.
Daniels can't get out here. I don't think he can make the ropes.
Please don't tap. Please. He's got a grapevine around that midsection, almost like a rear naked choke. Daniels, he can't have much
30
left to fight over.
seconds.
Daniels trying to hang on here.
30 seconds is an eternity when you're locked in a maneuver like this.
This is a move that Samoa Joe has liked to use, that rear naked choke. That's been his submission of choice for quite some time now.
And he's turned that into the full choke sleeper, as it's called, and Daniels is fading.
15.
That's 2.
That's 2. Here it comes.
Can Daniels somehow...
He's still in it. Daniels still in it. Fans counting down. And it's a draw. It is a draw.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 30-minute time limit has expired, and the referee in this contest rules this match a draw. A draw.
What a war that was.
Well, they're not saying Bruce this time. The crowd really wanted 5 more minutes, but Bruce Gray just doesn't have the authority to grant it.
Both these guys showing what great competitors, what great champions they are. And the fans giving a standing ovation to both these guys for a 30-minute draw, Samoa Joe and Christopher Daniels.
And a much-deserved standing ovation at that. One of the most physical, grueling matches we've seen in recent memory. And the fans won't even be content with 5 more minutes. They want an hour. And neither Joe nor Daniels leaving the ring yet.
Well, hey, listen, if they're not going to get 5, they're not going to get 60.
Keep in mind the Ring of Honor rules in this matchup, but Daniels doesn't shake hands.
That's right, no handshaking for Chris Daniels as the leader of the prophecy.
I can't believe this crowd, you know? You won't give them a French fry, so they ask for your whole Happy Meal.
Let's see what Daniels has to say.
You guys are so anxious to see Samoa Joe go for an hour. Why don't one of you guys step in and get hit by this big log for an hour? Yeah, that's what I thought. Joe, I'll tell you this. It's been a year since you and I faced off for that belt that you have. And in that time, you've made that belt mean a whole hell of a lot. Even though I can't go inside a ring with those 3 initials on it, it's still a pleasure to get in front of fans like this and wrestle a competitor like you. So I tell you what, let's not do any more tonight. But anytime you want to come in this ring and go one-on-one against me, I'll be happy to sign that contract.
Well, I'll tell you what, Daniels, like most of these people want out here, let's just say until we meet again and until it's back in IWC.
Is our triple threat match to determine the final participant in this year's Super Indy 4.
this all-important Super Indy triple threat matchup with major Super Indy tournament implications. It's the phenomenal AJ Styles, the future Chris Sabin, the current NWA TNA X Division champion, Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels in a three-way dance. The winner gets the 8th and final seed in Super Indy 4.
And, you know, there's no introduction necessary on these three guys, so let's just jump straight to the prophecy. Joe, who do you pick for the 8th seed?
That's going to be tough. A quick roll-up. I have to go, as it is Joe Dombrowski and Jay Worthington Farnsworth at ringside. I've got to bet with Chris Sabin. He's never lost a matchup here in IWC, and he's been here since the fall of 2003. And he never lost that Super Indy Championship. If he wins this matchup, he's right back in contention to win Super Indy 4, just like he won Super Indy 3.
Well, I'm looking at these three, and the one thing that's catching my eye is the gleam of gold, and that's 10 pounds of gold around the waist of Christopher Daniels. He's currently a champion. Once you get that champion mindset, you're at your A game. I got to give the edge to him.
And one thing that catches my eye at ringside now is fabulous John McChesney, one of the entrants in Super Indy 4. Remember, he was scheduled for this triple threat matchup alongside Styles and Sabin, but he was replaced by the Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels at the very last notice. He's still upset over that. Fabulous John McChesney, ever since he was denied that Super Indy Championship matchup with Chris Sabin he deserved, he's been out to prove himself. And defeating AJ and Sabin in the same match would have been the perfect way to do that.
And he has every right to be angry. There's no reason for him not to be in that ring right now.
Now we've discussed AJ Styles, Sabin's individual motivations behind this. What about AJ Styles, former two-time Super Indy champion, never defeated for either championship? Meanwhile, Christopher Daniels, he's been in 2 Super Indy tournaments, and he has not won a tournament yet. And Daniels in the ring, going after AJ Styles from behind. What about the personal animosity between Daniels and Styles here in IWC and in TNA? Even though Daniels defeated Styles for that X Division Championship, it was not in a pinfall environment, and it was not here in IWC. Daniels wants to prove, as we have a cover, he wants to prove he can pin AJ Styles' shoulders down for the 3 count and do it in IWC, because if you remember, the 2004 match of the year, AJ Styles versus Daniels was defeated, and that eats him alive.
Absolutely. And you know, what you're looking at right now is Christopher Daniels getting another opportunity to show what... Ooh,
but look at that, the animosity for Styles made him forget about the future Chris Sabin.
I wanted to continue my thought, but I gotta be honest, that hard left by Chris Sabin really caught my attention.
Double underhook suplex into the cover.
And apparently it's got the attention of Christopher Daniels, too, as he's now fighting gravity to get up off the mat.
John McChesney still staring very intently at this match. Remember, McChesney, the only man in IWC history to ever pin Chris Sabin in our ring. But just keep in mind, that was 2 out of 3 falls, so he did not end up winning the actual match. But it's still a big, big accomplishment for him that he was able to pin Sabin's shoulders after a year and a half of so many people trying.
Now, you know, the population here is big. The number of people in this room is big. That is a huge accomplishment.
Hard suplex by AJ Styles, but the Fallen Angel right on top of the Phenomenal One, taking away any advantage, any chance of scoring a pinfall, as Daniels hits the hard jab and follows through with the right hand. Daniels, infrequent competitor here at IWC, but you gotta believe he's gonna start upping his schedule even more as that pursuit for the Super Indy Championship starts to consume these bigger stars. Remember, AJ Styles tried to regain that championship a month or so ago, but lost to Sterling James Keenan thanks to Daniels.
Yeah, you can make all the claims you want. What it comes down to is Sterling was the better man that night.
Sterling James Keenan got the victory. But however, as we see a shot of John McChesney at ringside watching on, he was the victor, but AJ Styles was cheated as far as I'm concerned. Sterling is lucky to get out of that with his Super Indy Championship, and now Daniels applying a head scissors in center ring.
You say luck, I say talent.
Maybe it ends up being a little of both. Look at this 3-way submission hold here. AJ gets to the ropes. Sabin was on the receiving end and the giving end of the head scissors. Keep in mind, these three know each other so well. They're always on the road together. NWA, TNA, they work for a lot of the same high-profile super indie promotions such as IWC. They know the ins and outs of all of their rivals. Just think of how many matches AJ and Daniels had against each other in the past year plus as Sabin puts on the brakes.
They know each other. That doesn't mean they like each other. And I'm sure one of them would have no problem in doing something in this match to make sure they don't have to face any of the others ever again.
And keep in mind the winner joins the field of 8. Homicide, Low Key, CM Punk, John McChesney, Glenn Spector, Jason Gorey, and Shima Zion, all in Super Indy 4. Daniels, inverted DDT, flatliner combination, wipes out both men.
Championship maneuver right there.
Goes for a lateral press on both men, but no body on body on either side. Better cover on Sabin, that doesn't work. Better cover on Styles, does not work either. But in talking about Super Indy 4, we have to discuss Sterling James Keenan's outright refusal to participate in that tournament.
He absolutely has that right. He's the champion. He can choose how he defends it, where he defends it, how he is involved in it.
It's his right, but I don't understand the logic of it, basically foregoing your Super Indy Championship reign.
Well, let's be honest. By pulling himself out of this, he evidently has something up his sleeve with it. He has some sort of plan.
He is a master of mind games, a master of psychology. He has to have something cooking, but we don't know what it is just yet. But regardless, whoever wins this matchup will not have to contest with a Super Indy champion. As a matter of fact, Sterling's defense against Spider-Night Webb here in this building may in fact be his last, as Daniels cuts off Styles with a sharp kick.
Speaking of last, if you want to see AJ Styles' last meal, I'm pretty sure Chris Daniels just kicked it out of him.
Neckbreaker variation drives AJ Styles down. Covering a count of 2 and a kick out. If I'm not mistaken, the neck was the focal point of Daniels during their meeting here 5 some odd weeks ago at Wild at the Palisades. Daniels remembering that strategy, remembering that game plan very well.
And a smart strategy to have.
Styles blocking the suplex attempt by the Fallen Angel. Styles lets him drop to his knees, tried to bait him in for the neckbreaker, but Daniels countered, had that move scouted, and Styles comes back with the Pele. Roundhouse kick out of nowhere, connects right in the Fallen Angel's head. AJ not enough left to get a quick cover. Look out for Sabin lurking on the outside. Styles clash. Sabin springs in with a drop kick and takes him out.
A smart move by Sabin. He knew that if that Styles clash connected, that would have been it, and he would have been out of the Super Indy.
Very wise move to cut off AJ Styles, and now Sabin has Daniels at his prey. Charging into the ropes. Head scissor attempt. Sabin is pushing off of Daniels with a kick, and what a vicious tornado DDT wipes out AJ Styles. My God.
And with both men down, this could be it.
Daniels stays in that enziguri variation, but he kicks out at 2.5. Unbelievable offense. I've seen Sabin snap off that tornado DDT so many times, but never with that much ferocity. Whipping to the buckle. Sabin runs right into a foot. Daniels with the STO judo takedown. Daniels' specialty. But you can see already how much has been taken out of both men, not being able to follow through with a quick cover.
Daniels now the only man on his feet, and he's trying to formulate a game plan, and that's a good one. Spit can one of the guys and concentrate on the other.
Definitely, and Daniels, interesting offense here. It looks like he's following Sabin to the outside rather than focusing on his rival Styles in the ring. Elevates Styles, back body drop style, collides into Sabin. He takes both his opponents out. Wait, look out, Daniels still on the apron. Might be going high risk. Arabian moonsault crashes into both men.
And a few members of the audience as well.
Listen to the show of appreciation from the fans here. You can see these three men putting it all on the line for this Super Indy tournament spot. The last one remaining. Daniels with the Arabian moonsault. And now, rather than follow up on his moonsault attempt, he's jaw-jacking at ringside. Not a smart move.
Well, everyone in the audience loves AJ. Everyone loves Sabin. He's letting them know why he deserves their love as well.
Sort of a mixed reaction for Christopher Daniels based on some of his past actions here in IWC. Like with our good friend, International Champion Soldier. Like in that Super Indy Championship matchup, AJ versus Sterling. And Daniels, apparently reliving our dancing segment from a moment ago, rather than focus on two top-notch world-class athletes in the ring right now. Hard chop in the corner. Daniels may not see Sabin lurking in the opposite corner, but Sabin's neck is reeling from what happened to him as well. Styles reverses the chops now. Sends Daniels straight into Sabin. Coincidence or not, it was effective. Charging clothesline. Sabin gets hit, and Daniels with the hook to the eye.
Shades of Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Now Daniels in control, whipping in both men, but Daniels gets caught with a back elbow.
Daniels to his feet.
Look at this. Phenomenon. Double phenomenon. Styles drives down Daniels with the inverted DDT, who in turn drives down Sabin, and this is almost over.
Float over for a second pin, and oh.
And that's what all announcers talk about with AJ Styles. The quick thinking on his feet AJ Styles can do immediately over to the other participant when he knew he couldn't get the first cover. That phenomenon, AJ Styles especially, so much taken out of both men with that maneuver.
And AJ looking to go up top.
Daniels cuts him off though, hard shot to the jaw, superplex time. Daniels going for another high risk. Styles battling out. Both men jockeying for position on that top and second rope. Daniels pushed off. Sabin right back to contend with Styles now. No breathing room for the phenomenal one.
To have an opportunity like that, you need to seize it. When Chris Sabin saw that Daniels was down, he did just that.
Look out, Daniels coming from behind. Oh my God. Almost a Tower of Doom. Back suplex by Daniels to Sabin. Conventional suplex by Sabin to Styles. All three men are wiped out.
I'm not quite sure what happened in that car wreck, but the results are apparent.
Even fabulous John McChesney at ringside you saw moments ago cheering on the effort. He has a lot of competitive rivalries with these three men in the ring, but even he is showing his respect to this effort. All three men are giving for that final 8th and coveted spot in the Super Indy 4, which of course John McChesney will be a part of.
Daniels the first to his feet, and once again the first to formulate a game plan to try and win this match.
Blue Thunder Bomb takes down Sabin. Another specialty of Daniels, but Styles interrupts just in case. And this is just the qualifying match. Imagine what we're going to be seeing April 29 on Super Indy 4. Sherman by Styles likes to transition into a face plant, and he pulls it off beautifully. Cover, but Sabin right there caught the foot. It's a Gurry kick. That Sabin specialty pulls it on every match right when he needs it.
And Styles caught the foot there, but with the wrong part of his anatomy.
But Daniels right there to interrupt. Neither man can get the pinfall, the other interrupting. This is one fall to a finish, no elimination rules, ladies and gentlemen. With such major odds on the line, Daniels elevated into a standing powerbomb, and he has to interrupt Sabin, or else he would have gotten that pin with an assist from Styles.
The problem with a match like this is if someone's not pounding on you or you're not pounding on them, then you have to worry about what's going on, being that you have a moment to rest.
Styles up and over, cradle shock positioning. Sabin's got the feet hooked. Cradle shock time. Styles counters.
Misses the leg.
Sabin flies through the rope for the tope. Takes down the fallen angel. Split second thinking by the future Chris Sabin that time. In mid-move, mid-stream, able to see Daniels and capitalize. Oh my God, Daniels gonna fly. Daniels! Jimmy Styles with a helo. AJ Styles with a toe bank and helo, touching no rope, spreading his body out for maximum impact, and Styles has wiped out both men.
And all three men laying on the floor like there was a sniper in the building.
And you can see what these three men are putting each other through for a spot in Super Indy 4, the prestige of competing in IWC's annual major event. As Sabin and Styles back up, Daniels up as well. Sabin sent face first into the post, and now Daniels and Styles, their personal rivalry taking over on the outside.
Trading chops. And you can hear the slap of flesh from clean back here.
Styles positions Daniels back center ring now, maybe looking to finish him off.
I think he's been looking to finish him off from the opening bell. I don't think anyone really wanted this to go this long.
Daniels counters. Signaling for the last rites. Styles rolls through.
Styles clash. But Daniels rolls through. Angel wings. Angel swings. He's seen AJ with this before. Daniels has a spot. Can he get him? Daniels gets the win.
Chris Daniels moves on to the Super Indy tournament. All that effort just to get in. However, you can't win if you don't play.
What an unbelievable effort by all three of these men, as many of our capacity crowd gives them a standing ovation. X-Division champion of TNA, Chris Daniels, gets the win here tonight. AJ Styles and Chris Sabin apparently now won't be a part of Super Indy 4, but the Fallen Angel will, and his eyes have locked onto the eyes of fabulous John McChesney.